one of the kindest, most giving, big-hearted group of listeners of any show in America. I believe that. I've watched it happen so many times, and over the years, it has been one of my great joys when we do shows like this so many times. And over the years, it has been one of my great joys when we do shows like this so many times. Here in a second, we'll go through all of the years. But while we do, one of my great joy, there is this opportunity like this here in a second. We'll go through all of the years. While we do, that kind of joy. I love it. There is this opportunity. It just absolutely warms my heart with a smile on my face. While we do, pep in the step all the way until tomorrow morning. Just absolutely warms my heart with a smile on my face. You can do so right now on the JCS. Will show what we've raised so far. You can do so right now. $1,215 show what we've raised in there. You can do so right now. Here we go again. I hope that maybe that's just Adam. Maybe it's us. Anyhow, let's see if we can't. Yeah.
Your generosity broke the audio chain.
Weird. There are 10 Jeff Camerons speaking. That means good things. That is a good thing. Here's how you go ahead and donate. Let's give the refresher course here, Tom, now that we got the audio bugs worked out. I was saying a moment ago that we're barely in the show, and it's $1,215 already donated. That is fantastic. That's cool. It's again, makes me smile. So what does it folks have to do if they're watching on YouTube, the Warchant TV feed?
So it is YouTube only. I see Trailer Swift in the chat on X. We appreciate you asking, Trailer. It can be done from Facebook or X. It cannot. It has to be specifically from YouTube because we are using Google Charities direct to the charity third-party fund. What they do is no processing fees, nothing off the top. They link the Second Harvest bank account directly to the donate button you hit. It goes directly to the Second Harvest, and they wipe away all transaction fees. So they eat the credit card fees. It's an awesome service. So you go to our YouTube broadcast. If you're listening in the car right now, head to youtube.com, search Jeff Cameron Show. You will see it. It's a giant thumbnail that has the Second Harvest logo on it. It says Giving Show. There are 2 easy ways to donate once you get into the show on YouTube. There is a little heart underneath the live chat, and there's also a big blue donate button. Either one will take you where you need to go, and we've got the ticker up on the screen, and we will have it up on the screen all day, and we are nearly at $1,300 in the first few moments of the show. I can tell you that a few donations came in as early as 9:30, 10 o'clock this morning. People jumped in early before the show, long before the show launched, so outstanding start today, and people are awesome.
There, and that's simple and straightforward, and we appreciate you. If, listen, it happens quick. While we're doing the show, I'll occasionally, I don't always look in the chat. You guys know that the chat can sometimes, it's a great thing, the chat, where everybody can talk about whatever, but sometimes it serves as a distraction to me when I'm trying to do the show and drive the show, so I don't always look. Today, I'll look a little bit more frequently, but that said, I just want to get it out here in the beginning of the show how much Tom and I appreciate this. I know the Second Harvest of the Big Ben appreciates it. Of course they do. But Tom and I talk about this when we're not on the air. We talk about how this has been the best part of having this job. Look, it's a dream job. I get to talk sports for a living. I have for 27 years. It's unbelievable. And it's as fun as you think it is. And I'm forever grateful to that. But this, because the show did well and built an audience over time, this is what we were then able to do, was shine a light on areas of need for people that could use our help, and for organizations like the Second Harvest of the Big Ben or the Guardian Ad Litem or whatever it's been over the years. We've done shows to help out after hurricanes, after storms. We've done things where we were raising money for an animal service center. We've done shows to help people who were women who were in houses after being abused. We've done a lot of different things, and that's what the show allows you to do, is you can shine a light, and people, once they see it and they're pointed in the direction, they'll go, oh yeah, I want to help out, because they're good. They're good people, and they show up, and it's awesome.
Well, and in this case, the technology is used for good. This is what it's supposed to be used for. This is not a company like Google deciding that, well, we'll take 7% off of this. So do you want it? Because sometimes you'll sign up for things. Do you want to eat that cost or do you want to pass that cost along? No, it's done. So we can reliably say wow, there's another giant donation.
$2,385 so far, guys. Keep it going. We're going to be here for 3 hours. It is all live. I don't know what the number should be set at. I never try to do this. I mean, some years I've hoped that we could get to $2,000. Some years I've hoped we could get to $5,000. Others I've hoped that we could get to $15,000. And we have. I never know. Just whatever you can do. And really any amount helps. If it's $5, if it's $1, if it's $5,000, you do what you can do. And just know that we greatly appreciate it. And no more importantly than just my appreciation and Tom's appreciation, or even the appreciation of the Second Harvest of the Big Bend. You're helping people. You are directly impacting the lives of people in need, and none of your money is going to any other cause but that. There's no money being taken by the station, by me. As Tom just explained, nothing goes to Google, nothing goes to Warchant, and all of the money that goes to the Second Harvest is going to feed those in need in the surrounding communities.
16 counties. I mean, if you think about
16
that,
counties.
The scope of the mission that they execute is 16 counties, senior services, children's services, natural disaster recovery services, and every year hurricane season. I mean, this organization, for lack of a better term, is depleted because they need to be that support in the Big Bend. And what you're doing is helping them actively right now. Last year, we raised a little over $9,000, which is otherworldly. I wonder if we'll push that again this year, but every single cent you see on the screen is going right to the Second Harvest. So thank you.
I just cracked up laughing. Hog Watcher, well done. Would our running back room count as people in need? You got to have fun with it. Yeah, man. I mean, it's not a great room. It's not a great room. Speaking of the portal, I really am digging the new Mike Norvell. Can I just go there for a second? I'm digging the new Mike Norvell. The one who recognizes what a catastrophe everything was a year ago and now doesn't have time for people's feelings. You got to let these kids got to get up out of here. If you're not playing hard or you're not good, it could be that simple, by the way. It could just be that simple. Like, hey, you're trying hard. You just kind of suck. We missed on this, but you got to go. You got to go. I like that you got to go, Mike. Let's see more of that, Mike. Should have been there all along, baby. But we can't go back and change the past. I need this Mike, the Mike that tells people, yeah, it's not working out. Go ahead and hit the portal. I've been here like a week. Yep, you kind of suck. We feel like we saw enough here this spring. Take it on down the road. It's not going to work out for you here. Maybe Furman needs you. Take it on down the road. It ain't happening here. And I hope to hear more. What are we up to? 3, 4 guys in the portal? I know Early's gone. I know Travis, the quarterback, is gone.
Yeah.
I know the receiver who never did it. I mean, he was here for an hour. He's gone.
Yeah, he was Abe Simpson, essentially. he put the hat down, did the circle, grabbed the hat, and he left.
Yeah. He's gone. And then who else? Am I missing somebody else?
Last check, it was those 3, but I'm sure it could change at any moment. But yeah, it's 3. And I agree with you. And I like this attitude from Mike, but this is something we've been calling for weeks. And it's something we didn't see last year. We're like, how are they going to fit all these kids under the IPF roof?
Well, he doesn't have time. He knows that. I mean, look, we're in a win now situation. And, you brought in 16 transfers during the winter portal window. He's already admitted that he could bring in more. He was asked yesterday about the players that have put their name in the portal, and he basically told you he wasn't surprised, which is code for I probably told them to leave. And I mean, listen, when he says there's quote unquote, there's not a lot of surprises that happen. There's a whole lot of real conversations that are happening. Thank you. There it is. Yeah. That's revealing to you what we're talking about here. I know there are some guys that are going into the portal and we're supporting them in their journey. That's rich.
It's a sign of health.
Yes, that's right, Mike. Let's do some more supporting of people leaving. Yes. Hey, I would begin the conversation that way. I'd be like, well, Jalen, it's good to see you. How you been? Listen, I can tell you that you won't be here tomorrow. We're going to go ahead and ask that you leave, and I'll support you in your efforts. There's somebody there at your dorm now ready to help pack your bags. Anything you might need, maybe one last meal. Go ahead and scoop up some food on your way out the door. Best of luck to you. Always remember, we're going to support you in your journey, wherever that may be, away from here. Take it on down the road, young man. And on your way out, go ahead and tell that next kid to come in. I got the same message for him about how much we're going to support him leaving the program. Yeah, I support lots of people. People half-assing, people haven't made it to where they thought they would be or where we thought they would be. You gots to go. He went on to say, I'm excited about the work that we have in front of us here, these next two practices, which is just whatever. I mean, yeah, that's just a way of finishing the sentence. It's not really a thing. But, yeah, they do have a big practice coming up. I guess that part of it is they got one last meat and potatoes practice.
That's right, meat and potatoes.
One last meat and potatoes practice. And then you have like a helmet walkthrough, which doesn't mean anything. So the meat and potatoes practice is coming up.
Congratulations, you made the cut.
Yeah.
That's that practice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. I for one, have been rooting for more names. I've wanted to see. Now, look, inevitably, the system being what it is right now, which is unruly and awkward and silly and stupid, the system being what it is, you're going to end up losing somebody that you ought not, that you wish you hadn't. But it comes with the territory. That happens to everybody, and here we go. I was cracking up laughing that Cal's coach was just on the ACC network last week raving about how well Ott played in the spring game. Good to hear it now that he's a running back at Oklahoma. That's a toughie. I mean, that is a toughie. You think he got caught off guard? A little bit.
Yeah. I don't think you bring a name to the forefront of a conversation about how your program is doing unless you feel like,
he's going to be there.
He's going to be there to be a part of your program. I think he could run for 10,000 yards this year. Well, I think he could run straight to Oklahoma, Coach. What do you think about that?
I think he just did right after your interview. That is a tough deal. Speaking of tough deals, I really had felt like that it just so happened to be that it worked out, the timing of it all. This really is. I said yesterday, somebody asked a question on headlines about what we can do to be better regarding hitting with runners in scoring position. And my answer was, it is 90% luck. It is, other than the standard operating procedure that every baseball team and player should follow, such as having common sense about hitting the ball the right side with a runner on second if you're a right-handed hitter. If you're, like things like that, obviously getting the ball into the air with a runner on third, less than 2 outs, things like making sure your approach is right. You shorten up, put the ball in play when we got a chance to move runners along and get them in. Other than that, it's luck. I can hit a ball 114 miles per hour. You can't hit it much harder than that. And if it happens to go right to a guy at second, then we're going to leave those boys on base now, aren't we? And that sucks. But it's not because they aren't coached right, and it's not because they don't know things. It's just that baseball is a damn fickle mistress. And she can be tough to deal with. If you watch as much baseball as I do, you might go through a week where you hate that woman. Hate her. And then there's a week where you're the luckiest guy on earth to be with her. And you just got to take the good with the bad if you're going to play the game. And that's really more about, okay, are we cognizant of the approach we need to have to give ourselves the best chance to drive in these runs? And I feel like even in a weekend sweep of Virginia Tech where we didn't score a lot of runs, going all the way back to the Florida loss when I said, look, I think the approach is improving. There were some games this year where we scored 13 runs, and I thought that their at-bats sucked. There were a series of bleeders and nubbers and handles and things that worked out and then followed it up by a 3-run bomb by, Williams or something like that. And so all of a sudden it's a disguise. It's false promise. You see those runs and you're like, oh, yeah, there you go. Nah, really, the approach wasn't good. Then you have games where you win 3-0. Felt like the approach inning to inning was really good. Got a little unlucky. Hit the ball on the screws several times with runners in scoring position. Just happened to be right at somebody. Worked the count. Kid made a good pitch on 3-2. What are you going to do? Tip your cap. He's on scholarship too.
What are you going to do?
But that kind of stuff happens. And then last night, the explosion. But again, the at-bats were good at-bats, and they just jumped all over South Florida, and this became a humiliating defeat for South Florida in a hurry. The old 19-0 run rule will hurt your feelings. A lot of run rules are like 13-3, little 15-5, 11-1. You don't get too many 19-0 run rules.
Usually not enough time.
That is a whole bunch of get you some. Florida State moves to 29-7 overall. They pounded out 20 hits, 19 runs. I guess if you're South Florida, you go, well, of those 20 hits, 16 were singles. I mean, that's about the best you could hope for. Good for Alex Lodis, who continues to be a beast. 2 hits, 3 RBIs. That was in the first inning. Florida State sent 12 players to the plate that inning. Felt like it was going to be a good night. So Florida State pitching staff has started to get it together, and the Monka kid or Mackin kid, or however the hell you say his name, he's for real. And I'll learn your name, Peyton. That kid's good. I mean, the last 3 times we've laid eyes on him, I've gone, hey.
No, that Florida performance.
You got a little something to you.
The Florida performance was good, and it's another night for the staff where they didn't walk anybody. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, and then, Ben Barrett came in, and I don't think they're relying much on Ben, but he pitched 2 scoreless innings. I think could get him righted. That'd be cool. Marlowe pitched a scoreless 7th. Well, that was good.
Those names are important, though, because you have a Thursday game, So you'd like to have maybe one primary arm that you're using and maybe some long shot candidates for important innings later in the season. Long shot candidates, because we're playing tomorrow. We get Virginia tomorrow.
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
So you need your arms. This was not a night that you wanted to spend 6 arms on.
I did not get a chance to listen to Link's post-game interview. Did he tip the hand at all? I mean, is it Jamie Arnold tomorrow?
Honestly, I don't know.
I'm going to have to go back and double check that. I would assume so, but I don't know for certain. And you would go, obviously, Arnold tomorrow, seemingly.
He speaks tomorrow. If he didn't reveal it, he speaks tomorrow.
And then Vellini, who's been a horse. And then Mendez on Saturday. Big series against Virginia. Looking forward to it. But Florida State, this is a weird sport, baseball, man. You can go from looking really bad, feeling a little bereft of hope, very nervous about aspects of a team, and it's nothing that a little 4-game win streak doesn't turn around and kind of remedy.
Yeah, stabilized. They've stabilized. They've got to go excel again to go get hosting rights, but yeah, they've stabilized.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that they're going to be, this elite top 4 type team as we get towards the home stretch. We want them to be a top 8 national seed so that they can host and have the creature comforts here at Hauser. But what I really want is just for them to be playing good baseball. And let the chips fall where they may. You can play good baseball and lose a couple games. It happens all the time. Just play good baseball. Don't walk the world and just give teams runs. Have productive, smart approaches at the plate. That may end up being 0 for 4. But you can have good at-bats. You can have 4 good at-bats, and none of them turn into a hit. I mean, it happens.
Looks like in some of the ratings, you're around 18, 19, 20, and others, you're around 12, 13. I think Florida State most certainly would be a top 16 national seed if the season ended today.
They would be, Tom. You're correct about that. But I also, I'm a little – I understand early in the year you played bums. You played a bunch of bums. And, you might want to think about that approach next year. But anyhow, that said, I still feel like we should have a higher – ranking, and I don't mean the ranking next to their name as voted on by Baseball America or whatever.
You're talking about a selection committee ranking.
Yeah, I feel like the RPI should be higher.
Right now it's sitting 12, 13.
I mean, he just swept the top 25 team at their place. I mean, I would have thought it would have had more of an impact. It really didn't. All right, let me jump back in here to the chat and find out where we're at. $2,805. Let's keep it rolling. We had a kiss my ass on Main Street moment the other day. I didn't get a chance to get to it. I will next. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
AC and electric is what we do. Service, repairs, and installation too. 222-7722.
Is your home ready for anything? At Parker Services AC and Electrical, we do more than just keep you cool. We keep your whole home running smoothly. From AC maintenance and duct cleanings to whole home generator installations, we've got everything you need for comfort and reliability. Join our Peak Performance membership to keep your HVAC system in top shape and catch issues before they turn into costly repairs. And with a reliable generator, you'll never be left in the dark again. Call Parker Services today, where comfort is just a call away. Model license number CMC 050334 and EC 1301240.
This announcement is brought to you by Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey.
If you're driving right now, you should know there's an 80% chance that the cars all around you don't carry any bodily injury insurance. Most people don't realize it, but in Florida, all the law requires is that drivers carry property damage insurance. This means that the texting teen drifting over into your lane or the drag racer on your rear bumper have no way of compensating you or your loved ones when they cause a crash. And this should scare the hell out of you. Fortunately, there's an easy way to protect your family from this, and it's called uninsured motorist coverage. It's an absolute must, but a lot of insurance companies are convincing folks to drop it just to save a few dollars. Take it from the personal injury experts. Don't. At Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey, we've recovered millions of dollars in uninsured motorist coverage in crashes where our clients would have otherwise received nothing. So please, call your agent right now and make sure you have uninsured motorist coverage on your policy. We hope you'll never need it, but we'll be here for you if you ever do. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Don't settle for less.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call the hotline number now, 800-218-5573. That's 800-218-5573. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-218-5573 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
Do you own a small business? Let me guess. You started your business so you could get bogged down with payroll and bookkeeping, office tasks, and other paperwork, right? Probably not. I'm Craig Collins with Collins Income Tax Solutions. Allow me to help you get out from behind your desk and get back to doing what you love. For any of your payroll, bookkeeping, or other business services, give me a call today and allow me to take it off your plate. You can find my contact information online at collinsincometaxsolutionsllc.com.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Welcome back. It is a giving show, a day of giving, and we appreciate anything that you're able to help out with in order to aid our endeavor raising money for the second harvest of the Big Bend. That's who we're playing golf for tomorrow. JCS Invitational. We've done over 20 of these now. It's always an honor. So glad we revived it after a short respite. And that is a lot of fun for us, and it'll be a lot of fun for the people who got signed up, got their teams. We'll be out there at Capital City Country Club tomorrow and raising money. But we have a chance to raise money today on the air, too. And many of you are not either in town or able to play golf tomorrow, but you can help out here. And we would certainly say that, we thank you if you can and wish that you would. So it's very simple. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see Tom told us about the two ways in which was it, the heart that you can click on, and then there was, what else was there?
So under the live chat, there's a heart. Usually that's where the super chat logo is, like a dollar bill. And it turns into a heart for the charitable purposes. And then there's also a blue donate button that's kind of near where the counter is, showing that we've raised nearly $3,000 to this point. And that is also, if you're listening on the podcast or on demand and the show's over
later on, yeah,
the donate button will still be there. So if you're listening, it's Thursday morning, you say, shoot, I missed it. Can I still help? Yes, you absolutely can. Just search Jeff Cameron Show and Giving Show, and you'll see it with the Second Harvest logo. The donate button is live in perpetuity. And that's how last year, I think after we signed off for the Garden Ad Litem Christmas show, we had several $1,000s.
Somebody donated like $3 or $4 grand right after we signed off.
Yeah.
And I think we were saying goodbye, telling people how excited we were at the time. I think we had raised something like 12 or 13,000, and it ended up over 15,000.
It got close to 20.
It was 19 insane. And change. That was incredible. I understand it's not Christmas time, and so it's maybe people aren't in the right mindset. But if you could, we would certainly love anything that you can add to the coffers today to help our friends at the Second Harvest of the Big Bend. This will be going on all day in terms of the show, and then after, as Tom just pointed out, and you'll see your name along the bottom, unless you want to be anonymous, I should say. I got that too, but for those that do add your name, you get a big thank you down there at the bottom that will be on the ticker, which is a nice thing.
Some large donations, and look, as we've said so often, what's large to one person is not the same to the other. When I was in college, if somebody needed money and I was near a donation booth, $5 was about all I could do for you. I mean, really.
And Tom, that $5 might have been an all-you-can-drink special that evening, my friend.
We turn that down in exchange for doing the right thing. But then as time goes on, you have ups and downs. But we've had a lot of meaningful donations, and we thank you. Some as high as 1,000 and 500 so far.
Yeah.
But every single dollar makes a difference. Huge difference to these 16 counties.
Without question. And I didn't get a chance to see in the chat there. Z-Chan asked a question. He wants to know what the goal is. Z-Chan, for you, the goal today is $25,000. Everybody else might just be $25.
The equivalent for intern Tom at 1270 for his 25K is probably like $80.
$80. Yeah.
We appreciate you, Z-Chan.
Yeah. I remember the first time when you find yourself in, say, the realm of middle class, like whatever it might be, right? Like, and you somehow misplaced $5. That first time that you didn't panic for having lost $5
right.
is a really cool thing. Because for many years of your life, especially in your younger days while you're in college, losing $5 was a big damn deal. You're like, man, where's the $5? I know I said it right here.
Or finding $10 in the one pocket that you never leave stuff in. So it could be left rear jeans pocket. You never check that because you never put anything in that pocket.
Yeah. You'd be like, holy moly.
Tensky. Whoa. We are rich.
How quickly we're going to waste this. Yeah, that's how that would go. So fire away, guys, and we'll update everybody as the total rises. We're a little stagnant at 2,865. Let's get off our asses. Okay, I was just being a jerk purposely. Who can help us out? A guy who was on the other end of a kiss my ass on Main Street moment. Well, he's the one who could deliver the kiss my ass on Main Street moment. We like to document these moments on the Jeff Cameron Show. I just want to put it out there. If there's any way that I could get hired by the Phoenix Suns owner, Ishbia, who apparently doesn't care for how much money he wastes year over year. It doesn't seem to matter. He's now fired multiple coaches who are NBA finals coaches, champions, doesn't really matter. And he does it after a year. He'll just tell you to take it on down the road. That's the kind of job I want to get hired and fired from. As they did fire Mike Budenholzer, who won the NBA championship with the Milwaukee Bucks in 2021. He was let go from them and he got paid. Then he got hired by the Phoenix Suns, and they just fired him after one season. And you know what that means? Well, it means this. He had a $50 million contract for 5 years. Now, they paid him the 1 year. They're required to pay him the remaining years. Mike Budenholzer is going to make $10 million a year over the next 4 years to do whatever it is he'd like to do on that particular day.
So he made $50 million to coach 80 games, 80 regular season games?
Yep.
Okay.
That's the greatest job in history, and my pants would be off before he said you're fired. I would walk in, Ishbia would go, Jeff, I want to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, my pants are coming off. And he'd go, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I go, no, go ahead, say it. Say it. I know what you're about to do. You're going to fire me. Please do. Please do. Why you would ever work again if you're him, I know not everybody's driven by money and you get bored, and I've heard it all. I'd like to find out. I'd like to figure out whether or not I could survive not working the rest of my life while making $10 million a year, at least for the next 4. I'd like to see if I could do it, or would I get bored?
I think it would be in some ways funnier, the pantless moment, if there are tighty whities with little money signs on them.
I mean,
I knew today was the day. I wouldn't have worn this had I not known.
What a day. What a moment to call your wife. Babe, they fired me. No, they got to pay me. Don't worry. We're good. 10 million this year, 10 million next year, 10 million a year after that, and 10 million a year after that, babe. And I don't have to work a day, which might drive you crazy, but don't worry. I'll find something to do with my $10 million a year. I'll figure it out. It starts tomorrow when me and the boys fly to wherever it is I've decided to go.
I think I'm going to invest in a hamburger chain. Just to see how it goes.
Oh, man. He has to be paid the remainder of his contract by the Suns unless they agree to a buyout or he signs a new contract with another team. Why would I agree to a buyout? You can go to hell. I'm not agreeing to nothing. You're going to pay me. There's no, I'll take less. No.
I will listen to your offers on deferrals at a crazy interest rate.
Yes.
I'll listen to your offers, but short of that, there's no buyout.
That is unreal. What a great kiss my ass on Main Street moment for him. I just like to envision the moment that I walk out of the office. Well, got fired, made $10 million. Gonna make it again next year. From my bed, as I watch 4 or 5 movies a day, play some video games, get up and play golf for 4 hours, come home and do it again tomorrow. What a day. What a good day tomorrow is going to be, as well as the next one and the next one. Holy moly, it would be something. Anyhow, I wanted to get that out there. What a day. And my God, somebody did something crazy. Happens all the time. I'm always blown away. I don't even know what to say when I see that kind of thing happen. It just happened. Jonathan, you badass, you are a special kind of guy and very kind. And every time it blows me away. You caught me off guard. You're going to get me choked up. So we're going to go to a break, but we're at $8,085. That is unreal. Thank you, sir. And thank all of you. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Bright sunshine expected this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 77. Winds out of the north, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Clear skies again tonight. Lows dip down to about 52. Bright sunshine tomorrow. High temperatures reach up to 83. Low 80s Friday, mid 80s Saturday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 71.
The best happy hour in the city is at Café de Martín and El Bar. All day, every day, you can find great deals at Café de Martín while enjoying the best outdoor seating Tallahassee has to offer. Sip away on 2-for-1 house wines, chilcanos, and margaritas all day long, Monday through Thursday. Plus 2-for-1 pisco sours and margaritas on Fridays and Saturdays, and 2-for-1 mimosas for Sunday brunch. Come join us at Café de Martín, where every hour is happy hour, in the Esposito Shopping Center on Capitol Circle Northeast.
Tired of spending money on bug spray and inhaling all those fumes every time you want to go outside? Treat your yard so you can stop spraying your kids.
Paul's Termite and Pest Control has a solution to this persistent problem. Paul's has a program which seeks the grounds, flower bed, and shrubs. Paul's controls pesky mosquitoes year-round, which means you can take back control of your yard. Not only are mosquitoes a physical irritation, they also pose a potential health risk to people and pets. With Paul's targeted techniques, you can rest assured that your yard will be protected and your afternoons will stay fun.
Take back your yard. Don't let mosquitoes interrupt the fun. For more information, go to callpauls.com. For the elimination of termites or any other pest.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Pauls. We'll get them all.
Paul's can help eliminate fire ants from your lawn, too. We'll help you take your yard back.
There is no Bigfoot, Eddie. Would you stop with that nonsense?
There's a Bigfoot, Jeff.
I wish there were. By the way, I don't want you to point to me as the guy that takes all the fun out of the room. I wish there was the Loch Ness Monster. I wish there was the Bigfoot. I wish there was the Chupacabra. All the things.
They're all mythical except for the Bigfoot. The Sasquatch.
The Bigfoot?
The Bigfoot. There's big feet. There's lots of them.
So like different, breeds, like different kinds.
There's like families. There's different families. And,
so there's if they're in the snow, you call them a Sasquatch
or the Yeti, right?
Yep,
and then here in Florida, that's a skunk ape. And
never heard that one. By the way, why do you think it's real? We would have found them by now.
They're the hide and seek champions of the world. Nobody finds the Bigfoot.
I think you believe in Bigfoot.
I do believe in Bigfoot.
You don't believe.
I believe in Bigfoot.
Don't tell anybody you believe in Bigfoot.
I would go look for Bigfoot, but he scares me.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Troy, no, that $20 does not look sad, as does whether or not it's $1, $20, $500, $5,000. Listen, everybody does what they can do, and it's a big deal to all of us. So don't you ever think that your sum of money, no matter what it is paltry in the eyes of anybody. It is appreciated. Yes, Live Spectator, that is true. The organization under Ishbia is a clown show, but that's why I'd like to be hired by them. They fire guys at the end of 1 year always, and then just keep paying them. And what a cool thing that is. If you're that person getting paid. If you're that person getting paid to not work, I could easily survive that year. What a day indeed. Hey, so tomorrow, what time are we teeing off tomorrow for the JCS?
8 a.m. 8 a.m. sharp.
It's going to be great. I can't wait. And I have a feeling we're going to play great. We're going to play really well.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we'll play well. You're locked in. I played earlier today and played very well.
I feel solid. I don't feel locked in.
Yeah, you're locked in. You're locked in. Millar will be locked in. And you know what? I think if Nicky takes advantage of the situation presented, he could be the star of the show. I mean, it's always fun to play with Nicky, but I mean, he could be the star of the show tomorrow.
There isn't a pickle jar in the world that man can't open inside of 1/10 of 1 second.
Yeah, strong man. And he can help us out tomorrow.
He can.
And it's going to be a lot of fun.
What's the putting order? We had a good one last year, and I don't remember what it was. I don't mind going first.
I always feel like Millar should lead us.
He does insist on that.
He likes it because he's a pretty good reader of the greens.
He is.
And so I'll let him lead. I'm more apt to make it than he is. So we'll just.
I could be the Sherpa because I'm the grain guy. I'll give you all the grain information you need about capital.
Ira's going to be participating Florida Man in Alabama. So will Corey. I think, is Aslan playing? I don't know if he is or not. Okay, good.
Matt Lasser's playing.
Oh, man, we got the teams out there, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Ira buried a 30-footer for Eagle. We played in a little scramble a couple weeks ago. Like just a casual afternoon. Everybody scrambling. He buried a 30-footer on 15 for Eagle.
There we go, Ira. His only goal this year is to not slide down the hill and injure his ribs like he did last year. Should be noted, short segment here. Let's keep it rolling. I think it would be a terrible oversight on my part if it didn't get brought up on the show. It was in the chat. Somebody was Johnny on the spot when I clicked over, but I was already going to mention it because the great Wink Martindale is no more. Dead at 91. And I've often thought, speaking of jobs, that would be a lot of fun and pay a lot of money and really not difficult to do, that of a television game host. And Wink Martindale became kind of not the first, but one of the first, a pioneering figure in the world of television game shows. He started out, as many of these guys did back in the day, as a DJ, as you might expect, and I'm sure he was the cheesiest of cheesy. I'm sure there may not have ever been a more cheesy DJ to grace the airwaves there in Tennessee initially. He went to Memphis State. I know that.
You do?
I do.
Okay.
And he was a radio personality. Then he took it out to California. It's debated in many of the game show circles as to when the wig started. Because unlike Tom Brady and many others, and that includes Matthew McConaughey, there were pockets and moments in time where the camera caught or an angle or maybe a roll in the case of Matthew McConaughey where you're like, he's balding. It is fading fast. And the next time you saw him, miraculously, it was a lion's mane. And that's usually like Brady. We all remember there was that one shot.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
On the bench where he's kind of balding in the back and he's starting to fade. His dad is bald. So we knew it's happening. All of a sudden, lovely flowing locks. And it grew like 6 inches in the offseason.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly perfect either for many of those transitional years because you could see they kept the natural sides and they tried to blend it in. They tried
to weave the rest.
With the top.
Mm-hmm.
And when he would take his helmet off at times,
come on, Tom. Now it looks seamless.
It does.
As does McConaughey and many others. They pay the dear price necessary to make it look real.
There used to be no price you could pay to accomplish that feat. And now there most certainly is a price that you can pay.
Advancements in technology, we've watched it all happen. Yeah. And then there's these people that will tell you, it's a shampoo. No, it's not. If it was shampoo, I'd do it. But it's not. I'll come in here with flowing locks. The next thing you know, it's not a shampoo.
Within a year, you'd have that drooping cross earring like Bono, the silver one.
Oh, man. George Michael.
Yeah, right.
No, it's not minoxidil either. It's none of that stuff. It's a wig. It's a weave or a wig or a transplant or whatever. But Wink, I can't tell. He was the host of High Rollers. High Rollers whooped ass.
High Rollers, yeah.
It's an underrated show. He was also, of course, famously the host of Tic Tac Dough.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Tic Tac Dough run, early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, I want to say. I remember High Rollers after that. He did some other shows later when it was beginning to fall off.
It was in the 90s, Trivial Pursuit that he hosted.
Oh, did he do a Trivial Pursuit show?
Yeah, it was on Family Channel or Family Network, whatever it's called. When I was a kid, afternoons in the summer, you're looking for something after The Price is Right, you'd flip over to that channel. It was the predecessor to Game Show Network. And Trivial Pursuit.
That's right.
There'd be 2 episodes of it.
He did a show called Gambit Before My Time that many people remember him in. That was a CBS game show. I would have been a very good host of his original job, which is way back when in 1964, he was the host of What's That Song? I got that. I'm winning that all day. But
sounds like the Johnny Ray Jones version of Name That Tune.
yeah, what's that song?
What's that song?
What's that? Are we hitting out here, Coach? Coach Johnny Ray Jones.
It's Name That Tune. I love that show. What's that song? Johnny, it's Name That Tune.
By the way, Martindale, as he aged, it was rather remarkable, his commitment to the wig. It still never changed colors. It remained reddish brown for the entirety of his days. Now here's a 90-year-old man kind of just shimmying along, and meanwhile, poofity-doo up top with the big reddish brown hair, whatever the hell he was doing with that.
Every golfer's bracelet in the early 2000s. Same color.
Believe it in that pseudoscience hocus pocus. It's the copper bracelet. It'll rid you of the cancer. All that nonsense people spend their money on. You get the copper sleeve.
It also
just because it's bone on bone doesn't mean we can't fix it with a little copper sleeve.
It matches my ping answer putter. That's the benefit.
You're right, but Martindale had it that way. I never understood when the guys commit themselves to the wig lifestyle, how it is you wouldn't, at least try to, like, I got to give Colin Cowherd credit. Every time I see him now, at least I go, oh, that dude, he figured it out. It's gray. He's figured out that that's the natural order of things. He's 60-something years old. He would have gray hair. He got the weave when he was going through the divorce, and then now all of a sudden it's gray. Okay, that makes sense.
You just add a little more pepper over time. It's salt and pepper, then you go a little more pepper.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
You phase it in.
But what Martindale did instead was like, nope, I'm a specimen to behold, guys. It just never grayed. What do you want me to do? So rest in peace to Wink Martindale, 91 years old. All he ever did was host a game show repeatedly. Easiest job on earth. If you don't have a horrific speech pattern the way our head coach does, and you can avoid the filler, you'll be able to do that job, and you don't have to have an ounce of skill.
What do you think he smelled of?
Brute.
I
think he used brute.
I would have gone Benson and Hedges, but sure.
Oh, you mean, okay, lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
if he made it 91 years smoking, that's even better.
He seems like the kind of guy who would.
He's from Tennessee, backwoods Tennessee, too. He was out there like Jackson, Tennessee. He ended up retiring in Rancho Mirage, California. That's when you know you've made it. Where are you living? Rancho Mirage. Is it a wealthy? Oh, you bet your ass it's a wealthy community. It's Rancho Mirage.
I think he might have had one of the original houses. They were building up all these opulent ones near him, but he was one of the first to get out there.
And then he's mad.
He's mad
Who
at
are all these people that can afford to live here at Rancho Mirage?
Do you know what a game show host makes now?
In 1 year of hosting Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, I could have built 7 of these beautiful compounds at Rancho Mirage. But back when I was a pioneering member of the game show host community, $37,000. That's what I made to host Gambit. $37,000. These sons of bitches roll on in here now. $10 million a year to say that's correct.
And a driver.
I want to try. I'm going to make it a point. I'm going to Google Earth Rancho Mirage during the break. I'm going to plop myself down at Rancho Mirage and go for a stroll. Maybe I'll walk past Wink Martin's place. He had several spouses over the years. I did notice that. 4 kids.
Is there any section on the Wikipedia page for personal life and controversy? Because I feel like he's a candidate.
I feel like every game show host is a candidate to have done some very unsavory things.
Right. Oh, he's got a controversy section on the old Wikipedia. That's not good.
Well, he and his first wife were the ones who knocked out the kids. They had 4. They were 4 for 4. He and no other ladies afterwards had kids, but he and that first one, Madeline Leach was her name.
Okay.
They got busy right when they got married. Later, they divorced. close to 20 years of marriage. Then he married a Sandy Farah or something like that, and then ended up with some.
It's because she didn't believe in the TV dinners. She believed in making a fresh dinner for Wink.
And then he was with some hussy at the end who pretended that she loved him to try to get to the house at Rancho Mirage. Your wig looks great, Wink.
Brittany Lynn, Martindale.
I married you because of that incredible wig. Don't you change it.
You're the hef of game shows, babe.
Anyhow, Martindale would be offended that this went from a tribute to me making fun of him, and I shouldn't have done that because Wink was a stud for tic-tac-toe. He really was. My friend Shannon Young has made a move to be part of the nation's largest mortgage company, now with Cross Country Mortgage. He'll be playing in the golf tournament tomorrow. It'll be good to see you, Shannon. I hope you're in town right now listening to the show. We appreciate you, buddy. It means good things for you that he's with Cross Country Mortgage. He's working in 7 states, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, Texas, and the Carolinas. Stronger support, better options, faster response. So he's unwavering in his commitment to you, and he'll help his fellow Knowles. I can tell you that. Get the best loan options available. Go to loansforknowles.com. Go to loansforknowles.com. Tell you about my friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
There's nothing like relaxing in a hot tub after a long day. But if you don't have one, you're truly missing out. Hot tubs and spas have tremendous health benefits, besides just helping you relax. Like improving your sleep, they help with pain relief. They help to better your cardiovascular health, and so much more. And this season is the perfect season to finally buy what you've been wishing for. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas has the hot tubs you need for the price you want. Come shop our huge 12,000 square foot showroom and save today. There's over 50 hot tubs in stock right now, so you won't have to wait weeks on end for that delivery to finally come to town. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas. Come visit our used showroom at 2473 Greer Road with over 50 hot tubs to choose from. You'll be glad you did.
No matter what printing you need to keep your business running, we can help. Hi, Jason Butera here for The Printery. Reduce your stress and give us a call. From new product brochures or posters to yard signs, postcards, even letterhead and envelopes. The Printery sets the standard in personalized service with outstanding results. We offer full-service graphic design and free pickup and delivery. The Printery, home of 36-cent color copies. If it's ink on paper, we've got it covered. Call us today, 877-6418. 877-6418.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Knowles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Present Tallahassee.
Your Sports Flash update on Real Talk 93.3 in Tallahassee.
NHL hockey, the Tampa Bay Lightning knocked off the Florida Panthers yesterday by a 5-1 score. For the Lightning, they've got one more regular season game to go. That's going to be on Thursday against the Rangers. While that wraps the season for the Panthers and the Lightning are going to play against each other in the first round of the playoffs. The Orlando Magic, they have secured a spot in the NBA playoff bracket as they win their first game of the play-in tournament yesterday, knocking off the Atlanta Hawks 120-95. Cole Anthony coming off the bench with 26 points. The Miami Heat, they play in an NBA play-in game today as they match up against the Bulls. If they win that game, they will take on the Hawks coming up later on the week for the 8th seed in the playoffs. This Sports Flash is presented by Progressive. Bundle auto and home, renters, or condo insurance and save with Progressive. I'm Matt Pauley on Real Talk 93.3.
Transforming your land with a John Deere compact tractor is as easy as connect, latch, load, haul, spread. Cutting grass is as simple as roll, click, mow. Box blading is as effortless as hook, lock, grade. And backhoeing is as convenient as turn around, switch, dig. Because when you've got the versatility to tackle just about any job and dealer support in your own backyard, you just have to get in the seat. Find the right compact tractor for you at johndeere.com.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Like most of us, your home is your greatest investment. I mean, think about it. The financial benefits, the newfound freedoms of purchasing a home can contribute to your family's health and wealth and happiness. Well, with real estate trends pointing to a favorable market for buyers, this is the time to be sure of what you're buying or selling. And that is exactly why Joel Hagens built ACL Home Inspections, providing you thorough, precise, and efficient service with same-day, easy-to-read digital reports. They'll even go with you on a walkthrough inspection of the home you want to buy. If you're planning to list your house before putting it up for sale, ACL will provide you a pre-listing inspection. Call today, 850-312-8919, 312-8919. Remember, before you buy or sell, call ACL.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
will play a little golf on behalf of the second harvest of the Big Bend. No show tomorrow because of the charity event that will take place in the morning hours over at Capital City Country Club. For all of the people that got a team signed up and are going to be part of that, helping us raise money and doing so, we'll have a great time. I can tell you that. Thank you so much in advance. I'll thank you guys personally tomorrow. For those of you listening to the show, maybe from out of town, watching the show from out of town, whatever it might be, and you're not able to play or you didn't get signed up in time, it happens. Again, I will remind you, next year when we announce, get on it if you really want to play. I feel terribly when people contact us and say, I really wanted to play, but I guess I didn't get it in time. Is there any way for us to still be able to play? Listen, the course decides. The country club, Capital City Country Club in this case, we've played at many courses all around town. They all have the same rules. And there are certain numbers that they like to lock in, and that's where it stops. And so Hogwatch will slap a GoPro on, do it again. Yeah, at some point, maybe we will. Maybe next year. Maybe we'll do that and raise some real money there, hitting shots. I'd have to get used to that thing being on my head. I have a hard enough time playing golf decently without a camera on my head, but we'd see.
That's one piece of equipment that you would think over the years, like flying cars, we'd be closer to, a little bit closer to, is when they do the umpire cam, that thing still rocks back like crazy. We can't put in some sort of gyroscopic stabilizer. I don't even know if that's the right term, Mario. You tell me, you're in the chat. But you can't put some kind of stabilizer in there to just keep it even?
Yeah.
Because every time they do it, and the networks always try it every couple of years, like,
they do.
It's umpire cam brought to you by Budweiser. And then you see the head shaking.
Shaking every which way to Sunday.
That's a really important 2-1 pitch that we just watched like we were having a convulsion, man.
Before I forget, I just want to thank everybody who's not part of it tomorrow, but did contribute today and or is going to. Maybe you just tuned into the program. Tom, I'd like you to give us the short version again of how folks can go on YouTube and donate to help Second Harvest of the Big Bend, and they help people, families, individuals in need, 16 counties here and around us, and they do amazing work. It's been awesome. Good job, Mario. Good old Bob Crane. And all of the game show hosts feel like Bob Crane. Yes, and also Live Spectator, it would have to say a not safe for work GoPro footage because golfing brings out the words.
It does. It does.
And Tom has been present for some of the hysterical moments, things we cannot speak of on these airwaves.
The funny thing is, it's almost as though, to get back to physics again, if you observe something, it changes its behavior.
Yeah.
I think you sense when people are in your vicinity, because there are times when I think, well, there's an old lady there. He hasn't said yada, yada, yada.
He hasn't said this series of curse words in a row.
In years. And then you'll hit a certain kind of shot and you'll say, and I go, well.
Yeah, there it is. Probably should have told him that old lady was there.
I think he knew.
I didn't know, or I wouldn't have said it. My favorite one, which we all laughed afterwards. I did feel terrible. That poor lady that was behind us heard terrible things.
Which one's
well, I'll tell you during the break.
I had one on the North Course.
Well, that was one of my favorites of all time because it was unlike you. And you said something very salacious for that poor woman to hear.
Really did.
It was unsettling.
It was a little much. Even for me, as I was saying it, I'm thinking, I don't usually speak like this. And there she was, watering the grass.
And yes, in shock. She had a look of shock on her face, and I was like, oh, that's well done, Tommy. I was proud of you for that one. The order of it and everything. Anyhow.
Yeah.
Thanks to all of you. And we're up to 9. Oh, my God. We're up to 10,000. I just flipped over. I saw 9,000 during the break. We're up over 10,000 now. Goodness gracious. Thank you so much. I mean that. Bottom of my heart. Thank you so much. And I know the Second Harvest of the Big Bend appreciates it. You are helping people. And as a reminder, this is important. And I find this very important. There are causes I donate to. We all do, right? There are things that I believe in and I want to help out with. And I try to do it as much as I possibly can. But I also want to know when I do those things. When I contribute to any sort of charity, I want to know where my money's going. I want to know that it's all going to where I think it's going for the people that need the most amount of help, right? And that they're not keeping any for themselves, or in this case, Google's not keeping any, and they're not. They are not. Not a single penny of your donation goes anywhere but where it's intended to go, which is the Second Harvest of the Big Bend, and they use all of that money to help fight hunger in this county as well as 16 others around us.
That's the whole deal here, too, is if you want to vet this and you're new to the program, I just put the link in the chat, fightinghunger.org. Check out the website for yourself.
Yeah, you can look it up all yourself. Yep.
You can take our word for it if you wish. They are above reproach, but I understand it. When you're parting with money to go to a charitable cause, you want to know that it's worthy.
You're damn right.
The Second Harvest is phenomenal. And to footnote, to message for the folks, if you're listening in the car right now, or you're on Facebook or X, only the YouTube function will allow for this donation. So you have to go to youtube.com, search Jeff Cameron Show, search Warchant TV. You will find it right there. You'll see a big Second Harvest logo in the thumbnail for the video, and that'll take you there. And last thing, if you're listening on the podcast later, the link is still active. It could be Wednesday night. It could be Saturday, and you're catching up on the week's worth of shows. It's still available to you if you search Jeff Cameron Show Giving Show. You will find it.
I'm doing more from the chat today than before. Not a lot of portal news that affects Florida State. I was talking to somebody during the break, and I'm trying to get a sense of, listen, these are messy times. And I don't just mean for Florida State because of the season they just had. That obviously applies to this program specifically because of the season they just had and how desperately they need to get this turned around. I mean, I hate to be the person that, depresses the masses here, that my fellow Florida State fans, but the devastation of 2-10 is very real, and it's hurt this program, and they're going to have to get this turned around quickly so that we can get back to where we want to be. But we are, and as is everybody, in a really weird place. The thing that happened the other day with Nico seemed inevitable, based on what we know with the system currently. It didn't seem like it would take that long. And I just know that without contracts, and they don't have them, and there's no reasonable leadership that helps guide college football right now, there's nobody at the top ensuring that this makes some sense. So there's this delay, we know, in the House settlement. Somebody just brought it up in the chat. That's true. And there's a sense that, again, you don't really know what you can trust day to day, week to week, month to month. And that applies to every program currently. So when I get specific questions in the chat or via email or on Twitter or on the message boards at warchant.com, whatever it might be, saying, hey, can you give us a sense of ... how many we're letting go, how many are coming in, I have a much better shot at perhaps being in the ballpark regarding the number of players that will be leaving. Because as far as the players you're bringing in, these deals, quote unquote, they don't have any regulations. I mean, we don't know, like, that nothing's worth, there's nothing, these players sign things and they're not worth the paper that they print their name on. And so you don't really know, like, who you could bring in, what it would cost you, and do you want to do that? Is this person reliable? Or are they just going to use you to get a better offer somewhere else? There's just a lot of the collectives across the country right now are all kind of looking at each other like, I don't really know what to do anymore. This is not going where I thought this was going to go. So you have confusion amongst those groups as to what this even is anymore. And I think it's a real concern, Tom. You know, you and I have talked about this before. We were 4 players being paid. To me, it seemed reasonable. Fair-minded people could agree. Maybe we disagreed about how much a player should be able to make and what's the role of education anymore for a college football player and what are the rules regarding transfers and when should you have the ability to be able to transfer and not have to pay a penalty of any kind, meaning sit out a year, and when you shouldn't, and how many times can you do that? All of these details can be debated by fair-minded people, but I think most of us felt like, yeah, the players were largely getting the shaft when it came to how much money was in the game, how much money was going to coaches and athletic departments, and none of the players. So let's just say you're somewhere in that group of people. Again, we can disagree about certain details, but even if you thought, oh, well, I think, yeah, sure, 10 grand a year or 20 grand a year, whatever you thought, okay, I'll meet you there. I'll meet you in the middle. We'll have the conversation. I think that you also thought that there would be some guidelines and some parameters on this thing by now, that we would get something figured out. You didn't think that this sport would remain rudderless, and it is. And there's a real danger in that, because as I've stated many times before, and I'm feeling this more every day, if I want to watch professional football, I'll watch professional football. The NFL does this much better than the colleges are attempting to do it currently. The NFL has rules and regulations regarding contracts, free agency, who can go where and when and why, what's the calendar like for that, what does it mean when a player signs, a set of rules, regulations, and rights for the player as well as the organization are all in place. There's no confusion. There's no, I know that if I sign my middle linebacker in free agency to a 3-year deal, he's here. He's not going anywhere. He may sit out. We may get into a dispute at some point, but he ain't going to play for somebody else. And he's going to be here or nowhere. And again, that is a finite group of teams. That's a very small group of teams. It's not the country in the sense that there are 100 and whatever teams in football playing. This is not sustainable. This is not a good situation. They have got to get this figured out. They've got to have some sort of leadership emerge at some point.
Yeah, I would agree. And I'm still 100% for players being paid. And if it has to go through this process, then so be it. I'll be here waiting as a fan. Now they need to be concerned about somebody who's not like me, who won't be there waiting.
Yeah.
It's all said
Well,
and done.
I think there's a time limit on some of this too, Tom. I think you're patient and more so than many, but I would say that if they're still doing this dumbassery 3 years from now, you're not going to be cool with it.
Yeah, it'll get tiresome, but I'll understand it. Again, I grew up in a cynical time, in a time of free agency. So this is all I know. And I think
But
people
there are
younger than
rules
me.
to free agency, Tom.
No, there are, but everybody's out for me. That's also part of the world that I grew up in. And I think the generations younger than me understand that even all the more. I'm not saying that you're wrong to feel differently. I'm just saying that that's what I'm kind of used to, is people all looking out for number one. And this just comes back to something I believed for a long time. And we know it to be a fact. The NCAA sucks, and it failed, and it was stupid, and it was ignorant when it wanted to be.
Oh, yeah. No,
and it was malicious when it wanted to be. And both of those things conspired to this moment, because they used to have some oversight of the sport of football at the highest level.
Yes, they did.
Now they washed their hands of it years ago, especially because the playoff system has become what it is, and the BCS became what it was. But there was a chance to set this on a path a long time ago. They screwed it up.
Yeah, they failed. But you don't get to continue to fail in perpetuity. Like, we can no longer sit there and we can point the finger at what caused all of this. That's fine. Identify the NCAA as incompetent. Got it. The courts warned them years ago that their system wasn't legal, and it was going to get challenged if they didn't do something about it beforehand. Then finally it was. It did get challenged, and they lost in the courts, and now we're here. But that doesn't mean that moving forward, we can't get a handle on this situation. This is again, this is rudderless.
Well, the problem is the people who comprise the NCAA are still the people making these decisions, the universities themselves, and there's a grand reluctance here to unionize athletes.
Yes.
Which is just silly. You are wasting time. You're wasting everybody's time, and you are risking the fanhood of people who have, for generations, worn your clothes, whether they went to your university or they didn't. They love you in a way that they don't love their professional football team. There's a greater connection. That connection is being tested right now. The strength of it is being tested because of the reluctance to just have this become an employee-employer situation.
You and I want that, even if they don't go that route. There is a better way than this currently. And the reason that this is reprehensible in a lot of ways is because in many ways it differs from professional football, as we noted, and professional football does this sort of thing much better. They've had a lot more practice and they are very good at it. The other reason is you and I, the fans and alumni of these universities, are getting bent over. We're the ones being asked to pay for all of this. We're the ones. That doesn't happen in the NFL. The owner has to pay the players. Now, he may set ticket prices at a rate you don't agree with, but you don't have to buy them and all of that. And like you said, there's not the same sort of connection.
Right. Yes, PSLs are annoying, but you're getting hit with a new PSL from a different direction all the time.
These fans are getting screwed.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And all of us that care deeply about our schools and our programs are probably going to stop doing this in the very near future if we don't get a handle on the system as it's currently run.
Right. Well, what they're doing is a basic, they're running a shell game here. They were using the money that players generated for the universities to create these new operations across the university itself.
Of course they were.
And now when they're told that they have to share the money that rightfully should be distributed to the players because that's what people are showing up to see, they're trying to create that space from new revenue rather than reallocate the revenue that's already on the books. And that's where the difficulty comes in. And that's where you're going to get hit out there with whatever it is, a talent fee attachment to your ticket, like whatever it's going to be, it's going to be something extra.
But that's also why, Tom, that they have to be careful and get this handled because people will stop participating in the whole process, the whole college football thing, meaning fans won't do it in perpetuity. And B, there will only be a few schools that are willing to spend to that extent to compete in big-time college football. So everybody else will bow out. Watch how quickly these schools like Wake say, I'm done. I'm out.
I think that's what – look, I think if Alabama and Ohio State and Notre Dame and Michigan really wanted to lead the charge to create a new set of rules, they could. They don't want to because they know that this benefits them.
Well, they'll win,
right? Because they're winning right now at a disproportionate rate than they would if you unionize. I know your answer would be the Yankees can't play the Yankees. Their argument would be, well, our enrollment won't suffer for this,
but it will long term. and again, I think long term, if this system remains as is, they're screwed. People will run in droves. I said this last year when they were all pointing to the ratings. Oh, the playoffs is a success. I'm like, let's see how long that lasts. You're going to have a problem.
This is where if you really wanted to, watch it play out for another year or two if you're the NFL, and then think about launching academies. Launch NFL academies and a minor league system. Well, yeah, you really want to expand to different continents? Why don't you put NFL academy teams over there? And those are the kids that could be drafted out of high school right away into a system. Mm-hmm. They go play for, Buccaneers Berlin, like whatever. You've got little teams spread around the globe because they are finding interest in South America and in Europe, especially Germany. Germany loves the hell out of the NFL. So you could probably build 3 or 4 professional factories there to put people in minor league systems. It might not be a bad idea for them to at least kick that idea around, even if it would just be a threat for the college game to get their crap together.
You just don't know who's coming in to save the day is the problem, because obviously the group that's there now has no real power. They've been told by the courts they have no real power. So we know now everything that they proposed and try to do, they're like, no, that doesn't work.
It has to be the networks. And there's at least one more round of stuff that needs to happen before I think the networks would be willing to encourage it. So you're waiting on executives from Disney and Fox to help lead the charge. It's not great.
Not ideal. And those people are fairly short-sighted. Many of those people making those decisions will not be in a place of power to make those decisions 7 years from now, and they know that. They're out for themselves. That's right here, right now.
They're a president talking about how the world is going to be different in 2030. Well, you're not going to be serving at that point.
Yeah, right.
We announced today by 2035.
Right.
We will. Yeah, well, okay.
You won't be here.
You'll be dead by the time we figure out if you were lying or not.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I feel it. But it muddies the waters, is my point, as to what Florida State specifically is going to do or not do in the portal to bring it all the way back to what people were asking in the chat, which is that, look, I think they will go out and bring a couple of people in if they can, if the price is right. I think it's a small number of people. I don't know how many are leaving. That will have an impact on their decision as well.
Yeah, in the immediate term, I think we all feel a hell of a lot more confident about our future. The revenues coming into the program in the next 5 years.
Yes, because of where we're headed. Yes.
In the super, super, super micro, we still have spring practices this week. So I would imagine that the guys that you've already seen have had difficult conversations or toxic conversations or something that was definitive that they're in now. But I would think there's a wave coming after we're done here on Saturday. There's a way, because you just have to enter your name. Then you could go make your decision later. But you could play it out this week in practice. Maybe there are a couple of position battles that they're still weighing before Mike wants to sit down with a couple of players and encourage them. They're doing the right things, but the battle is not complete yet through spring camp. And so you might see a second wave into the weekend and early next week.
Yeah, and the new assistants, obviously Tony and Gus are guys that have, obviously they've worked really hard on install this spring, and they've got a real good idea of who's going to fit and who isn't in their system through this spring. They may be intrigued by some others who aren't at a starter's role yet, but they feel have potential. And that's the conversation you're going to have with the head man. Look, I don't see this kid ever fitting in the system that we run here. You may want to advise him to move on. And then, hey, this kid didn't work for what you guys were doing last year, but I really like him. We need to try to get him to stay. That those kinds of conversations are what are happening. And then anywhere that they think they're incredibly thin, because this is a thin roster.
Yeah.
This is a really thin roster.
You know how people have been reporting it was propped up by the portal. I don't think it's ever more true than now. Right now. That offensive line is a portal line.
It's all portal.
Your quarterback,
your
receivers.
Well, this was why I have been imploring, pleading, pounding the dais for them to recruit better. You're going to have to recruit better, guys.
To answer a question from James B. quickly, are they scrimmaging on Saturday? That is the plan. There's no access to it. We were going to only get one, but they were debating between give us the access the day that you went or the 19th. And so the plan was, at least at that point, that there would be a scrimmage on the 19th, James B.
I could tell you that I'd much rather go to the one that they're going to have on Saturday because they got all their people back. The one that I and the other members of the media got to see featured a whole lot of missing starters. So that was kind of tough.
Well, it defined the thickness of the roster.
Well, it reminded you of just how paper thin it is. That you're going to need your starters to stay healthy and play well. What's the number? Drum roll, please. Where are we at in terms of our efforts today in the Giving Show to raise money for the second harvest of the Big Ben? It's robust. It's a good number. It's making me prouder by the second.
And it's a record for this specific endeavor. For the second harvest, we had never broken 10,000, and so today we did. And everybody who donated, really, thank you for making that happen.
The number is 10,340 that we're up to. We'll easily surpass 12, 13,000, my guess, as we sit here today. Still an hour and a half to go in the show. Swish Irish, Tom will respond to you. He knows all the thingies about the apps and the computers and all that. He can tell you, hey, this is what you're not doing. Because he's going to try it on his app.
I'm going to open up my
during
app
the
right
break.
now.
That's what he's going to do.
find that donate button. I'm going to hit it.
T-Spark Enterprises back on board with us and happy about that.
I might see them at the tournament tomorrow. They got a station for us in number 1.
Very nice. Call T-Spark for your next roofing or construction project. They conquer all peaks. That's tsparkconstruction.com. And they are indeed licensed. License number CGC 1525336/CCC 1331204.
The IRS is ramping up collection, and if you owe back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, listen carefully. Before it's too late, check your eligibility for the Fresh Start program still offered by the IRS to reduce or even eliminate your tax problems. Call our special hotline number now and find out in minutes if you qualify for these life-changing debt reduction programs. Business or personal, if you're in a payment plan with no end in sight, have unfiled tax returns, under audit, have a wage or bank levy, or finally just want to know your options, call the experts at Republic Tax Relief and stop collections immediately. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau with a 5-star rating from Yelp, this veteran-owned company has the fight you need to take on the IRS. Don't go at it alone. Call the hotline number now, 800-218-5573. That's 800-218-5573. Find out if you qualify today. Call 800-218-5573 or go to republictaxrelief.com.
There's nothing like relaxing in a hot tub after a long day. But if you don't have one, you're truly missing out. Hot tubs and spas have tremendous health benefits, besides just helping you relax. Like improving your sleep, they help with pain relief. They help to better your cardiovascular health, and so much more. And this season is the perfect season to finally buy what you've been wishing for. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patio, and Spas has the hot tubs you need for the price you want. Come shop our huge 12,000 square foot showroom and save today. There's over 50 hot tubs in stock right now, so you won't have to wait weeks on end for that delivery to finally come to town. If you're ready to relax, we're here to show you how. Pinch a Penny Pool, Patios, and Spas. Come visit our huge showroom at 2473 Greer Road with over 50 hot tubs to choose from. You'll be glad you did.
I got some pretty spooky news from my Paul's termite and pest control technician the other day. It turns out that I'm sharing my home with Formosan termites. Those little monsters do damage about 4 times faster than the regular termites. Fortunately, Paul's discovered them on a routine general pest service, and they've already turned the Formosans back using an amazing treatment called Centricon.
Paul's was the first to introduce the Centricon termite colony elimination system to North Florida and is the leader in this non-invasive treatment. Instead of dumping gallons and gallons of harsh chemicals into our soil, Centricon uses environmentally sensitive treatments loaded in bait stations. These stations are placed around the home. Termites are present, they feed, and take it back to the colony, which is then destroyed. To learn more about Centricon and a free consultation, go to callpauls.com for the elimination of termite or any other pest.
And a greener lawn, too.
Call Paul's. We'll get them all.
T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com. We conquer all creeks. We fix those storm leaks. Call 850-766-134. T-Spark Enterprises, roofing and construction services. T-Spark, T-SparkConstruction.com.
CCC 1331204.
Science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-led. Hey, Jeff Cameron here. You've heard me rave about the benefits of Orange Theory Fitness and the proven track record of science-backed interval training. Well, now Orange Theory Fitness has done it again, adding more ways for you to improve your health and look your best. In addition to the always great standard workouts, OTF has added Tread 50 and Strength 50 for those in the mood to just lift for an afternoon or attack those cardio goals for the day. Take the guesswork out of exercise. Make sure you're getting the most out of each and every workout. Orange Theory Fitness, location Midtown Tallahassee and Village Square Boulevard.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Yeah, so I don't know the answer. I don't know what that's going to be in terms of the amount of players coming in or not. There's a part of me that doesn't want them to bring in a bunch of people to dance with, what you got and then assess again in the fall. Obviously, I am kind of just curious because we got burned. We got burned, and I want them to kind of have a different approach to roster building than what we've seen in the past. And I think at some point you kind of just have to really emphasize a little bit better high school recruiting. Demand it.
I think that they did a good job, again, closing last cycle. It salvaged a class that was in the 40s or destined for the 50s, and they brought it inside the top 20. But you might see some dividends there on the defensive line because we like Kevin Wynn. Tylon Lee was retroactively made a 5-star, so that got its own level of buzz, but he was already a high 4-star that we flipped from Ole Miss. Well, Jesse Harold, I think he might need a year or two, but he was an LSU 4-star commit.
Mm-hmm.
And you might have a couple of reinforcements at some of those key positions. The offensive line, you're starting to hear some decent buzz about the younger guys. I'm not saying playing this season. I'm just saying Manasseh and Jonathan Daniels are getting some positive reviews. Maybe this could be a year where Lucas Simmons gets a little bit of exposure at tackle because that would help change the conversation a little bit.
He started every down at the practice I was at.
But
he's not starting, obviously.
There are plenty of holes, too, in the high school recruiting. Frontline, maybe Sperry is a guy for you. Boggs, Cromos, certainly. They like what they have in Lofton. So there are some pieces. You got some pieces there.
You didn't miss on every single recruit. Yeah.
But the problem, you're going to lose quarterback, 2 receivers, a tight end. 2 tight ends, 5 or 6 offensive linemen into the professional ranks next year alone. That's a lot of dudes. You're going to have to dip into the portal next winter.
Yeah, just recruit a quarterback. I mean, you got Kevin Sperry, who you like a lot. Brock Glenn, for now, is still here. Yes, Castellanos will be moving on, which is fine. But I'm telling you now, I think Gus loves him some Kevin Sperry. I have a feeling that Kevin Sperry is going to move ahead of Brock Glenn in the depth chart here in the not too distant future.
Okay, well, if that's the case and then Brock decides to ride, then you're going to need to bring in two this cycle, or a veteran who's okay with chilling or competing for the starting job with a young kid, and then a true prep quarterback.
Yeah.
But there's a replenishment that needs to get going. And it's probably not this window, but the next window.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I'm nervous about that.
Yeah, because James Williams, Darrell Jackson, you're going to lose two linebackers at minimum.
Well, you'll only lose James Williams if he has a huge year because he's a redshirt junior.
I think he's going to have a good enough year to go.
Well, that's a good problem to have, Tom.
Yes, for the now. I think this year might be all right. Not great, all right. You know, like that 41. Shoot a 41. You're like, oh, all right, 41. Not bad.
I shot a 41 on the back nine today.
There you go. You felt right.
Very early this morning.
You felt good about that.
Yeah, I felt okay with if I go 41-41, I'm shooting an 82. I'll take that 82.
There you go.
I don't always go 41-41, but I went 41 on the back nine this time for your example. That's okay.
So today's round in its totality, you're like,
yeah, it's all right.
Right.
It was okay.
That's what this season,
It was just good to be outside. It was nice and early. And
it's good to be in the wind column. That's what this season is going to be. Well, and this portal cycle, dear God, there's a lot of work that needs to be happening in December, January. And this is all done.
Yeah. I also think that the pickle we find ourselves in is that your two coordinators, at least early on, are not recruiting very well. Your two new ones. And you begin to delve into the psyche of that. You wonder why. Is it because the team they came to went 2-10 last year, and it's really hard to get traction with the prep ranks for a program that went 2-10? You like to think that, when you bring in a Tony White and a Gus Malzahn, that you get a little of the new car smell and that you might be able to curry favor with certain kids who are intrigued by those hires. It doesn't appear that that's the case, not in droves anyhow, certainly early on. But your fear, if you're really, and we look out for Florida State, I don't care about the long-term future of those two gentlemen. I care about Florida State. And so what I think about is, I wonder if they're short-timers. I wonder if Tony knows that all he's got to do is put together a good defense this year, and he is most assuredly going to get an opportunity to be a head coach. So why would he pour himself into recruiting while he's here, since he's going to be leaving? Now, you could say that's short-sighted, Jeff, because if he got a head coaching job and he was recruiting really well, he would probably take those kids with him to whatever new spot he went to, in which case Florida State is screwed again, so I remain nervous. That is the pickle you find yourself in that we've had this conversation around before.
We have. I think what it comes back to is your original point about dancing with the ones you got right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're probably going to need those pennies for the overhaul after the season or the retention. It could be that you have a couple of kids that get third-round grades or second-round grades and you want to retain them. And so you keep the pennies for those particular players. Like maybe James Williams has a very good season, but he got top 50, top 60. He doesn't know if the Senior Bowl is going to, push him into the first round, so I want to come back for another year. That could be the case. It's not all bleak. It's just that when you do look at the top line of the roster and you project next year's group and you're trying to make those decisions as a GM of a program, we always do that as a GM of a professional franchise, but as a GM of a program, is it really going to make that much of a difference if I spend $500,000 or $1 million this spring window? Or would it make a larger difference if I had an extra $1 million to spend in the winter window?
Yeah, that's why I bring up a lot regarding what you spend, how much you spend, and like what would you have to see? You have got to be very judicious right now, I think. I think you have to say, all right, look, does that running back make us a better team? That kid from Cal, he would. Now, I know he's going to Oklahoma, but I'm using this as an example. Would he make us a better team? He would. He'd make us a better team, but that's not the position you need. You just brought in Chroma to be your stud. Running back, and I believe this about the NFL as well, the only time you draft a running back high is if your team is largely complete. That's the guy that will take you over the top. He's a special talent because I have a good offensive line. I've got a really good quarterback. I'm elite at tight end. My defensive line is stout. I'm pretty well loaded. Now I have the luxury of grabbing a running back at 19 or 23rd because, I'm pretty loaded everywhere else. But if you're a team that is struggling, if you stink and you're drafted in the top 10 and you tell me you want to take a running back, buddy, he better be Barry Sanders. You better know that is Emmitt Smith. You better be sure that is name Hall of Fame running back that you want to insert here, because I don't have a good center. I don't have a starting left tackle I believe in. My quarterback situation's a little dicey. That's why I'm drafting 6th. My defensive backs are ass. I can't cover anybody. I don't get to the passer. We're not drafting a running back. He may be all that he's cracked up to be, but we're not drafting a running back. So I feel the same thing applies to Florida State right now. It's like, is the running back room nice? No, it's substandard. It's not a very good running back room. But we stink in a lot of places, so don't spend your money on running back.
Yeah, that's also something that was, I think, the basis of the strategy of the Battle's End from 2022 into 2023, which was, well, if we go all in on the retention right now, we can make the playoff this year. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, I'm trying to get from 8 to 9, and if everything breaks right, 10 wins. The strategy that particular go around was, this is a championship level team.
And they were right.
If we keep the kids around, but we got to keep all these kids around. We have to be super aggressive. What does an aggressive strategy net you this year? 9?
Yeah. What are you trying to go from 7, 8 wins maybe to 9? Yeah. Where I would spend money, if you show me a bona fide defensive lineman, or maybe even a superstar offensive tackle, because you've got Reynolds right now.
Yeah. Well, and of course, we're talking about one-year players, because if it was a multi-year redshirt freshman that for some reason doesn't like the situation he's in, and you're going to get a 2-year player, big difference in the conversation, because then you stabilize next year's roster too.
Well, there's a kid in the portal right now who's a redshirt sophomore. His name's Joe Cotton. He's an offensive tackle that played at South Dakota. He's leaving South Dakota, hasn't decided where he's going yet. He's 6'7", 325 pounds. He's going to play in the league. If he said, I'd like to come play at Florida State, I would take him.
Yeah. Yep.
But like the Jade Knott kid, I'm not paying him. Let him go to Oklahoma.
Right. For what we are tasked with achieving this year, and I hate that because you're putting a governor on an elite program in theory.
Well,
in theory.
Yeah.
Receiver, you don't need it. Tight end, you certainly don't need it. O-line could use it. Quarterback, you're not going to dip into the well. You've committed to a veteran. So on offense, you would go best available OL, and that's about it.
On offense, I'd go best available OL. So that's guard or tackle. And on defense, it's all about the defensive line. Maybe if there's a superstar. Now, if you're going to tell me you got a guy that is a plug-and-play beast at linebacker, okay.
Yeah.
I would maybe do that because I'm fine with our secondary.
I'd be there for safety, too. If you're telling me that you've got a first-team all-conference player at safety, that would, it's a very...
I just like our safeties. That's a deep room. Our secondary is deep. You're right. Safety specifically is not.
It's been a problem for years.
Well, let's see how Tony does. I think Tony's we're gonna get a little something out of this role this time.
I know he wasn't the most consistent player in the world, but Akeem Dent was important. He was important to the equation.
He was. I don't feel like there's a safety looming out there, Tom, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
And
what about that South Carolina kid that we want to draft? Can he come back?
No, he's going to go to the Bucks,
okay,
and he's going to whoop ass, and he's a freak show, and we'd have to pay him millions and millions of dollars. And if he was available and wanted to come to Florida State, because we have screwed South Carolina many a time, and he is a South Carolina guy.
That is true.
I would gladly do it.
That would be a giving show of a different kind. That would be the greed giving show. Yeah.
I wish, buddy. I wish. You know what I did yesterday?
No idea.
It was kind of brought on by something. I went down a rabbit hole and I was reading something. Then I was watching this video, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Yeah, it's a good idea." This guy was assessing certain picks by the Titans, and he was talking about how the Titans find themselves in this position. And we're tomorrow is 1 week from the draft, and I'm getting pumped about it. Anyhow, I started going around and I was going down this path and like, I don't care anything about the Titans, but I was kind of curious what they were going to do. And I'm reading this guy's assessment of the Titans. And I started thinking, and he was making fun of their last 5 draft choices. He was like, these last 5 first-round picks have been abysmal. And he was rating them. He was like, this is an F. This guy didn't ever play a game. He's out of the league in 1 year. This guy, and I mean, a first-round pick out of the league in a year, that'll hurt your feelings. That is a whiff and a half. I mean, you take a guy 7th overall at right tackle, and he's out of the league in a year, you'd be like, son of a.
He's in week 2 of his first camp, and you're going, oh, no.
He can't play.
Oh, no.
Booger McFarland told a story about the Bucs drafting a lineman, an offensive lineman, I think it was, when he was there. And McFarland said that, yeah, most guys, dudes can tell other dudes. They know, like, he's a guy. He's a guy. Or he's just a jag. Or I'm not going to make it. You know, that kind of thing. So they just trust the front office. They don't know. So they get that first day there and in pads, and it was a lineman, and all the defensive linemen, like, after going against him several times, they're all like, this guy can't play. And they were kind of just staring at each other like, they whiffed. This kid can't play at all. I mean, he's not going to be in the league this time next year. Like, imagine that moment. Like, that's your teammate. You're whooping his ass, which is great for you in the rep, but you're like, no, you dummies. Anyhow.
It doesn't even count. Your defensive line coach, that doesn't count. Go against somebody real.
Yeah, but no. So you know what you do? You go back and look at the last 5 first rounds selections for every team going in the draft, and you'll really feel the weight of it. Like, for some teams, you're like, man, you have whiffed 4 years in a row. How do you have a job? That guy you picked 2 years ago has never started a game.
That, to me, is like looking at Clemson's recruiting rankings over the last 3-4 cycles. You're just assuming that you're going to see him at 4 or 6 or 7 every year. And now you realize why Dabo's starting to dip into the portal. Oh, hang on a minute here.
Well, the problem is Dabo's got deep receivers. They're all really good.
He does, and they develop there until further notice. But it's not the way it was, where Clemson was a top 6 annually recruiting machine in the industry rankings. And I'm thinking to myself, well, so you've got that solid number 16 in the country roster, not that top 4 in the playoff roster.
Well, I'd like to have fun at Clemson's expense, but they're just a better run organization than us and have been for some time. So I leave their name out of my mouth.
Well, it's nice when there's at least the path back feels a little bit more manageable because they're meeting you. It's not that you're meeting them. They're coming back to you a little bit.
James B., your GM is a horse's ass and insults Dolphins fans every time he speaks, like he did yesterday. Chef Cameron Show, we're up to $10,455. Let's keep it rolling. Let's try to push on through when we come back to get over 11,000. I appreciate each and every one of you that took the time to contribute whatever the amount to the second harvest of the Big Ben on today's Giving Show. We really do appreciate it very, very much, and you are helping people, and that is a good thing.
Recipe ribs. They've got the grills that will make your backyard the hottest spot in town. From gas to charcoal, they have the perfect grill for every meat lover's dream. Call Hearth and Patio today, where the quality of your cookout is their passion. Give them a call today, 850-727-4282. That's 850-727-4282, or online at hearthpatiotallahassee.com.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying, or if you've been on the fence, and been waiting to call me? Now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing lender, NMLS 373031.
There he is. Haven't seen this guy since, what was it? Oh, shoot. U2 at the Sphere in Las Vegas, baby.
Hey, how about that, man? Wasn't that fun?
Good show. Good show. Everything about it. Nearly perfect. Nearly perfect.
I had everything I could possibly want.
I wanted one thing, couldn't find it, and I looked everywhere. No Cubans.
What do you mean?
No Cubans.
There was Cubans.
No, I didn't see any Cubans.
Dude, I'm sure there was Cubans there. I mean,
No. I walked around. There was a moment right before the show. I thought, got to find some Cubans. Nothing.
Dude, there's Cubans. There was Cubans. I'm sure there was Cubans.
In Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas.
No Cubans in Vegas.
There's Cubans in Vegas, man.
Eddie, there were no Cubans.
Chef.
The sandwich. There were no Cuban sandwiches. You're Cuban. Of course I know there were Cubans there.
Oh, the sandwich. Yeah, no, there probably wasn't many there in Vegas.
No Cubans.
No, not yet.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Wish there was another baseball game tonight, Tom, but there is not. And we scored 19 runs in the one we played last night, which was a good thing. Speaking of Florida State, should be noted here that Charlie Ward is the new head basketball coach at Florida A&M. We certainly wish Charlie Ward all the luck in the world there, and we wish Florida A&M a lot of luck as well. He is finalized. Did that deal get finalized? Did we know that it was officially finalized?
Last I saw before the show, it was.
I know
it's
pretty much a done deal.
Yeah.
Florida A&M has not reached the NCAA tournament since 2007. So this would be the definition of a very challenging job. The Rattlers went 14-17 last year. The last winning season goes all the way back to 06-07. There have been 5 different coaches that have not achieved success. We know about some of the financial difficulties that the athletic program had for a time. And so it's a tough job, but it's one that I'm really pulling for, obviously, Charlie to do well and for Florida A&M to do well. Hopefully FAM found their winning formula. Charlie will be able to, I think, generate funds. Charlie is a guy that obviously everybody knows, a 2-sport superstar, a Heisman Trophy winner, and as kind a man as you'll ever meet. And I think if you're a supporter of FAMU or even just you want to see Charlie do well, I think that people will come out of the woodwork to help give that program a bit of a jolt. So we wish him a lot of luck. I told a funny story. One of Charlie's kids played basketball with my youngest kid, Clark, and they were on the same team. And Charlie and I would stand there and watch the basketball and just talk about Florida State football the whole time, and never once really made note of anything that our kids were doing. It's just him and I talking football the whole basketball game.
Well, I mean, you had a lot of good conversations with him on ESPN Pensacola, as I recall.
Yeah, I used to go on as a guest over there all the time, and then I'd have him on the show occasionally, but he co-hosted a show over in Pensacola, and I was a regular guest on that show. It was a midday show, like this one is, and I would always go on there, and we would talk, and Charlie was funny as a co-host of that show because it wouldn't take but 30 seconds for him to go, are we going to be better at blocking this year, Jeff? Like, that's how the questions would go, like right off the bat.
That always made me laugh because Charlie is subdued, polite at every turn, whether that's standing at a practice or, emceeing an event or being on a panel at an event. And yet, when he had a chance to sit behind a microphone and discuss Florida State athletics, he would ask you pointed questions where he would ask you, are they going to do things better than they did for any number of facets of the organization, which that makes me smile.
You'd hear it come out of him. He really cares deeply about whether or not Florida State plays well. And he would say to me, have you been out to practice? Well, I was out there the other day, Charlie. Are we blocking any better? Because we're on the air. I'm like, this isn't a private conversation, Charlie. Makes me laugh. That is a crazy story. So Cal has now lost 5 running backs in the portal.
This cycle?
Yeah. They have an early enrollee freshman. Who's the only running back who's there.
What are you, jealous?
Well, we're going to have some people taking on down the road. I mean, I do believe that question was asked today and yesterday, and I just think you can go right to that depth chart and go, all right now. I'm saddened by a couple of things. I don't know that he'll leave, and I'm not saying he's a bust yet. But, I mean, Cam Davis it's not going the way I would have liked it to have gone.
I got the solo cam for you just in time.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that situation. You know what that's feeling a lot like? It's feeling an awful lot like a Hakeem Williams situation, where when to gaze at an individual and then project based on that observation what you think he might be, and then juxtaposing that with the reality of what he is, leads to great sadness. You go, you look like you should start for the Giants, but you're not good in a pickup game at the Y. This is very frustrating to me. Very frustrating to me. We've got one more hour to go. What's the number before we get into that third hour, sir?
$10,455, a new record.
Let's get over 11,000. Let's do it in the next segment. I know you're driving about town going, I want to give, Jeff. I want to give. And I say you can pull over right now and give.
The YouTube.
Hour number 3, bonus hour forthcoming. Stay with. Friends at Tried and True Consulting, a Seminole-owned business that specializes in payments and business solutions. Tried and True's core expertise includes card, ACH, point of sale, mobile, e-commerce, and hosted payment solutions. Tried and True will help you reduce costs and increase your bottom line. That always sounds nice. Whether you're a retailer, restaurant, licensed professional, or service industry, Tried and True is saving you money. Tried and True's expertise extends to payroll, video menu ad boards, IT services, web design, and social media. It's time to make one call and tell the competition to take it on down the road. Call Don or Joe today at 844-464-6653. That's 844-464-6653. When you do business with Tried and True, they contribute 10% of the net revenue to the battle's end. So go Tried and True today. Call 844-464-6653.
The best happy hour in the city is at Café de Martín and El Bar. All day, every day, you can find great deals at Café de Martín while enjoying the best outdoor seating Tallahassee has to offer. Sip away on 2-for-1 house wines, chilcanos, and margaritas all day long, Monday through Thursday. Plus 2-for-1 pisco sours and margaritas on Fridays and Saturdays, and 2-for-1 mimosas for Sunday brunch. Come join us at Café de Martín, where every hour is happy hour, in the Esposito Shopping Center on Capitol Circle Northeast.
This announcement is brought to you by Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey.
If you're driving right now, you should know there's an 80% chance that the cars all around you don't carry any bodily injury insurance. Most people don't realize it, but in Florida, all the law requires is that drivers carry property damage insurance. This means that the texting teen drifting over into your lane or the drag racer on your rear bumper have no way of compensating you or your loved ones when they cause a crash. And this should scare the hell out of you. Fortunately, there's an easy way to protect your family from this, and it's called uninsured motorist coverage. It's an absolute must, but a lot of insurance companies are convincing folks to drop it just to save a few dollars. Take it from the personal injury experts. Don't. At Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey, we've recovered millions of dollars in uninsured motorist coverage in crashes where our clients would have otherwise received nothing. So please, call your agent right now and make sure you have uninsured motorist coverage on your policy. We hope you'll never need it, but we'll be here for you if you ever do. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Don't settle for less.
From the championship stage to coaching change and everything in between.
3.3 with all the latest odds from Vegas.
Harbortown Golf Links hosting its traditional week after the Masters tournament in the RBC Heritage. Scotty Scheffler, the plus 360 favorite. Colin Morikawa, 11-1. Xander Schauffele, 12-1. NBA play-in tournament yesterday. Orlando dominates Atlanta 120-95 to lock down the number 7 seed. They will meet the Boston Celtics in game 1 of their first-round series on Sunday. Boston opens as a 14-point favorite, total 207. Atlanta Braves wrap up their series today at the Toronto Blue Jays as $1.48 favorite. The Braves laying $1.48 at home against Boston. $250 bonus and you open up a GBank Visa signature card. Visa.com/GBank. Mike Sennett, Real Talk 93.3.
Have you heard? Kohl's has 2 exclusive new home brands, Mariana and Mingle & Co. From luxe favorites that are all about turning your space into a sanctuary to fun mix and match dining essentials. There's so much to discover, and trust me, you're gonna love everything. Plus, you can get an extra 15% off throughout the store and earn Kohl's cash. So hurry to Kohl's today and bring it home for less. Select styles, some exclusions apply. Offer ends April 19th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just 2 deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks, you know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
Like most of us, your home is your greatest investment. I mean, think about it. The financial benefits, the newfound freedoms of purchasing a home can contribute to your family's health and wealth and happiness. Well, with real estate trends pointing to a favorable market for buyers, this is the time to be sure of what you're buying or selling. And that is exactly why Joel Hagen's built ACL Home Inspections, providing you thorough, precise, and efficient service with same-day, easy-to-read digital reports. They'll even go with you on a walkthrough inspection of the home you want to buy. Now, if you're planning to list your house before putting it up for sale, ACL will provide you a pre-listing inspection. Call today, 850-312-8919, 312-8919. Remember, before you buy or sell, call ACL.
Injured? Call attorneys who care. Basic Brooks. Offices, Tallahassee.
Did you know backup generators often lack the power needed to start an AC unit? Installing an EasyFlex soft starter from E&B Heating and Air can reduce startup current by 75%, allowing your AC to run without a larger, more expensive generator. Visit EMBHeatingandAir.com for more info.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Real Talk fact number 44. Banging your head against the wall for 1 hour burns 150 calories. This is Real Talk 93.3, Tallahassee's Real Talk station. Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
to help us in our giving show to benefit the second harvest of the Big Bend. We really appreciate the fact that we begin this hour with having raised $10,455 to that end, thanks to your kindness and contributions, obviously. That is absolutely huge. And it means a lot to us, and I know it means a lot to them, and it means a lot to the people that will benefit the most from this, those in need in this county and the surrounding counties, 16 in all. That's a good thing, a really good thing. Also want to say really quickly, while I'm thinking about it, we do have, Tom, I think, an opportunity here to talk about our friends at Above and Beyond, aboveandbeyondvr.com, Above and Beyond Vacation Rentals, lowest rates in Clearwater Beach, Dunedin, and Palm Harbor this summer. And I will tell you that Matt is on his way up from Above and Beyond to play a little golf with us tomorrow, which is cool, and he's in a giving mood. He's on the drive up from Clearwater to play, and he's adding an additional 5% off your booking this week only. So that is a 10% savings if you are going to book one of the 30-plus properties that they own in and around that beautiful area. You could either get right on the beach. You could be downtown Dunedin if you'd like. You could be in a little motel style or cottage style or a big luxury condo. They've got really a wide variety. And the main thing here is that when you book at aboveandbeyondvr.com and you use the promo code JCS to get an additional 5% off, now you're saving 10% on the booking and hundreds of dollars in savings with none of the middleman fees, none of the VRBO stuff and all that nonsense. No. You're booking directly with them, and you're saving money because of it. You can call or text Matt at 727-253-5995. And or if you're going to be at the tournament, book with him tomorrow at the tournament. I bet he'd be surprised. Just roll on over and be like, hey, man, before you hit that 7-iron, I'd like to book a spot on the beach with you.
He said he'd take a call on the drive up. My assumption is they're going the smooth way, which is non-75 I-10.
Correct.
Yeah, it's the better way.
Avoid the catastrophe that is 75 and I-10, 75 in particular, by Ocala, where nonsense prevails.
Which is the McDonough of the state of Florida.
It sure is. It angers me. I've been stuck in that before. On my way back from St. Augustine the other day, Tom, I had the old stuck in traffic by Jacksonville, bumper to bumper on the highway, didn't move for 30 minutes, not an inch forward. You can imagine how I handled that.
Yes, by listening to a podcast, probably.
I did, but I first bitched for a good 10 minutes. I said the thing that makes my wife cringe, where I jokingly say, there better be bodies strewn across the road when we get up here. What is going on?
I'm going to listen to George Norrie speak about the strange and unexplained for a half an hour, because that always puts a smile on my face.
George Norrie.
That was always filmed during FSU baseball broadcasts on the weekend on 100.7. Oh, I loved using that promo so much.
That was always a fun one for a lot of reasons. But yeah, it was the nonsensical, crazy ass guests that they had on that show.
But they were sounding like they were doing just a normal public access program.
Well, my favorite part is that he would, with a straight face, ask questions about, so when you were in the other dimension.
That's right.
And the person would take it as a serious question. They're like, yes. Were you able to find your brother?
Not at first.
No. It's a really unsettling thing when you enter the other dimension. But after a while, you figure out a little bit about it, and I was able to summon my brother. How long would you say you were in that dimension? I don't know. George. My wife seems to think it might have been 30 days. And they're dead faced. They're like deadpan. They're dead serious. It's crazy. Anyhow, would you draft Travis Hunter? You damn right you would. You bet your bibby I would. Okay. Or Bippy. Yeah, Travis Hunter. And I would play him both ways, like he wants to be played.
Do you want the Bippy?
He wants to play both ways, and he's come out and said that he wouldn't want to play for a team. He actually said something asinine to CBS Sports. It's never playing football again because I've been doing this my whole life, and I love being on the football field. I feel like I could dominate on each side of the ball. I really enjoy doing it. He was asked about, what would happen if a team told you that you couldn't play both ways, and he said, I'd never play football again. Yeah, you would. The contract and the money is going to, I think, encourage you to find a way to deal with that bitter disappointment of not playing both ways. But having said that, I would play him both ways. You talk about a PR boon for your franchise, especially if he's good both ways in the NFL. You have you have a unicorn. Yeah. I'm doing it all day, every day, buddy. I'm selling jerseys out the wazoo.
Well, he was able to play as many plays as he did in college.
And he played elite level at both positions.
At altitude, often. I mean,
Yes.
that is astounding.
Now, these are the best players in the world, and it's a little different, and I get it.
But there's fewer plays, significantly fewer plays on both sides of the ball.
I agree. He played 86% of Colorado snaps last season. That's the highest in FBS by far. And it was a pretty even split. Carolina Panthers cornerback Dane Jackson played 48% of his team's total snaps last year. That's the most in the NFL, 48%.
That's it?
Yeah. So 86%. That's all snaps.
Oh, offense and defense.
Yeah, that's all snaps. He played 48% of his team snaps. That's the most in the NFL.
I was going to say, when did the whole defensive backcourt of the NFL get soft? Everybody's only playing half the time.
No. Obviously, he must have been involved in special teams, and they probably did a few things with him on offense too. But he says, well, he understands that it might be difficult. He feels like he can do it. I would do it. I'd run his ass into the ground. You've got him at a team-friendly deal when you draft him. I don't care if he's here 7 years from now. I'm playing him every way imaginable, getting the most out of him over the next 4 years. If he makes my team better because of it, fine. And if he shatters his ankle playing both ways from sheer exhaustion, I don't care. Take it on down the road. We'll draft somebody else. It's a league of mercenaries.
I'm selling jerseys, man.
I am selling tickets, jerseys, the whole deal. He's on every poster. Forget about it. We're doing it.
Yeah, I agree. But he would most certainly play if he was told he's only going to play receiver. He would, or
that's why it was stupid for him to say that.
He would play.
Yeah, the Giants GM, who ought to maybe not have a job, but he says he's fine with perhaps playing him both ways if they are able to draft him. Now, I don't think he's going to have to worry about it because I don't think the Giants are going to get him. But I do, the Giants are an intriguing situation. Their quarterback room.
Well, all things being equal, would you rather have Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter?
Oh, Abdul Carter.
Okay. I'm just checking because I didn't expect you to be so effusive about playing the kid both ways.
I'd play him both ways for sure. I think he's a great player. And I didn't, listen, I understand the situation that happened with him here and all of that. But, I mean, if you watched him play, he can play. He's really good. And I think he'll be really good in the NFL too. I mean, I suspect he's going to be really, really good. But it's not like I'm drafting him to be a left tackle, protecting my quarterback for the next decade, and he wants to play nose guard. No, buddy, that ain't happening. We're not doing all that. You're out away from the ball with all the other prima donnas. That's fine. You go out there and be your prima donna self and be good at it. Play wide receiver. Get a little tired. You need a breather. That's fine. Come on over here, but we'll get your ass back out there as soon as we can. I'm doing it. Because he did do it in altitude, and he did play 86% of his team snaps, and he didn't suffer a drop-off.
Right, and that's a higher clip of plays. I mean, even with the running clock at college, you're still running so many more plays than you run in the NFL level. And if he needs to be somebody who comes off the field for a portion of a drive because it's 1st and 10 at the 40, and we get in the red zone, I'll bring it back in, and fine. Yeah, there's no way that you don't take advantage of it. Besides, the country is in a mentality right now where they love players who can do multiple things. Shohei Ohtani is not just a great player. He's also a sideshow, and it's the best of both worlds. And that's what you would get in this particular circumstance to sell tickets and jerseys.
You know, I didn't realize. So Ohtani is set to come back here real soon and pitch. I mean, he's obviously hitting. But I looked at what he would have to average as a pitcher in terms of number of innings to reach anywhere close to the number of innings that Babe Ruth pitched. I didn't realize Babe Ruth pitched a lot more than we realized. If you go back and go look at Baseball Reference, Ohtani's going to have to average a ton of innings over the next 8 years just to come close to what Babe Ruth did as a pitcher.
Well, in those days, I mean, they had 3 dudes. They're like, all right, it's your day. And it's your day. Nobody else.
There ain't nobody else coming out there. It's your day.
Yeah, these are your innings.
Also, I didn't realize this. And I feel like there's yet to be a really good, both a movie about Babe Ruth. The one with John Goodman sucked. It was terrible. Everything about it was awful. They've yet to do a really good movie about Babe Ruth, who's got a very interesting story, obviously.
Probably closer to Righteous Gemstones
It's
than the one that
just-
they made.
It was terrible. It was terrible. And then number 2, there's not been, I mean, Ken Burns Baseball does it a little bit, but I think you could do an entire doc on him. I mean, he was a really interesting person and kind of a tragic upbringing, the whole thing with the foster home and all that. Like, there are stories for days about Babe Ruth, and they're all prodigious. How far he hit the ball, the amount of women he was with, the amount of cigars, the food, the liquor, all the stuff. Like, what a documentary that would be. They need to get on it.
I'll just never forget quickly seeing his bat in the Fenway Park Museum because there was no handle on it.
It's massive.
It's just a rod.
It's massive. It's a tree trunk.
It's not shaved down by the handle.
No.
There is no bump at the bottom of the bat. It's just a rod. It's the dumbest thing you'll ever see.
But if you go back and watch his footage, most of the time he has a bat. Yeah.
That one
it's a monster.
It's just a broom. It's the heaviest broom handle you've ever seen in your life.
He must have been strong as hell, unreasonably strong. He was also bigger than everybody. He was 6'4", 200 and whatever. Guys weren't that big back then. He was a monster. Anyhow, the draft order for 1 week from tomorrow. Travis Hunter's going in the top 2. So I think Cleveland takes him at 2, and that's the end of that. The Giants don't draft until 9th. So what is it? The Giants draft. Where am I looking at the Giants?
Thought they were earlier.
Oh, they are. They're third. Yeah. I don't think they're going to get him.
But they would get the guy you'd rather have in Abdul Carter. Is what you're saying.
Yeah, because the Titans are going to draft Ward.
Right. Yeah, so it comes down to Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. If you're a Giants fan, you're sitting in a nice place.
You are sitting in a nice place. And I think, boy, that's tough. The Patriots draft 4th. The Jags, sorry-ass, draft 5th.
Didn't realize my mic was on. I'm glad I didn't say anything.
Raiders, Jets, Panthers, Saints, Bears round out the top 10. Bears are in a good place right now, man. They've done some smart things in the offseason, got some offensive linemen in there. The poor Saints. Ooh. Not that I lose sleep over it, but the Saints they're in trouble. Salary cap hell, and now their quarterback doesn't look like he can play this year, which means they're going to probably have to draft a quarterback, which means they're going to have to take Shedeur Sanders.
The best rivalry in the NFL. Saints versus the salary cap. It's a good one.
I saw a great article on NFL scouts are not allowed to obviously bet on the draft, but the article by Adam Chernoff was scouts can't bet on the draft, but if they could, here's what league insiders say off the record about the bets they would make.
Boy, I wonder if Chernoff made sure he ran to the window before publishing this thing.
Buddy, I would be, yes. But what made me laugh is under the heading of wide receivers, you can get this bet down if you'd like, everybody. Up to you. The hypothetical bet is under 2.5 wide receivers in round 1. And I'm going to read you what one of the scouts said about the receivers in the draft. Quote, "This receiver group sucks. It is absolutely terrible. There's nobody here. Guys are going to move up a round or two because it's a terrible year. And if you need one, you have precious few to choose from. I predict a grade of a third-round receiver is going to be taken in the first round. A fourth rounder will go in the second round. That's how terrible this group is. Were we asleep? I had no idea that people think this draft is devoid of receiver help at all.
Well, I thought, yeah, we discussed that. This is a defensive-heavy draft. Not a lot of top-line talent on the offense. But
it is, but golly, I mean, that is harsh.
That is the guy that you would hire. GM Cameron would hire that guy
I like
straight
that guy.
away.
That guy's awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Bob, come in. Want to ask you about receivers. Oh, Jeff, this is not. I hope we don't need one. We're in trouble. About the running backs. Hypothetical bet there. Under 2.5 in round 1 at -140. Ashton Genty is number 1. It's not close. He's the best, said one executive. The rest of these guys, you could throw them in a bag, mix them up. They're pretty much the same guy.
You could throw them in a bag, beat him with a reed.
They're good, not great. Second-round picks, third-round picks. With it being so deep in the 3 to 11 range, you're not going to take the third guy if you value the 11th guy, to be honest, because I think they're very much the same, said the AFC evaluator that was interviewed for this. You can get a guy later if you need a running back, but if you really like a running back, you should draft Genty. Basically, if you can get Genty, get him. Everybody else is kind of like, eh. But yet the Cowboys are looking at trying to take Marion Hampton in the first round. And I know how much you like him.
I do, but of course it's him.
I love Travion Henderson, and I have from the day I saw him at Ohio State, and he's the third listed running back here, and he ran fast at the combine, which was nice because they knew he had the power. They knew he had power.
It's going to be Hampton. We're going to take Hampton.
Somebody's like, Jerry,
please.
We need so much other stuff.
We're taking Hampton. It's going to happen. Stand down.
Is he on his meds?
Stand down.
Oh man.
Oh, Henderson is that's a guy right there.
That's my guy.
I like both of them, Hampton and Henderson.
I'm a Henderson guy. You can have you some Marion Hampton all you want.
Harry.
I'm a Henderson guy. If Scout Tom and Scout Jeff are in the room, we're fighting over this situation. I'm like, listen, Hampton's a nice player. Get him in the 5th round. We let's take Henderson here.
Where we would agree is regarding the rotation that Ohio State would deploy at running back. They're good at multiple places, but with multiple players at a lot of different offensive skill positions. But Henderson would have been in the game more. I wouldn't have split anything. Like this
dude's a beast.
If you need a yard, he's going to get you the yard. He'll find a way.
He is for sure. If the Bucks late in the, I got to look at our second round, third round area and see what we got. We're 53rd in the second round. So we're the 53rd pick.
A.Z. Thomas. Bad news for him. Good news for us.
Yeah, if he falls to 53, that wouldn't be stunning.
We'd get a very good draft grade on that pick.
I think we would too. I that's about where, look, some people have him late first round. It takes one team. One team's got to fall in love with your skill set. That's it. Could go 31st, 32nd, something like that. But he likely falls to the second round. And if he fell to 53, yes, I would take him there.
It's also known as the Herbie pick.
The Herbie pick?
Yeah, the love bug.
Oh, that's right.
53.
Yeah, forgot about that. Chef Cameron Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. We're up to 10,700, inching towards 11,000. We can do it. We can do it. Let's get there, everybody.
Hey man, if you heard the sound, the Cowboy Jewelry is the best in town. The rings, diamonds, earrings, bracelets, and more. And Cowboy Jewelry.
When was the last time you randomly did something nice for someone that means a lot to you? Now, I say this every day at the end of my show for everybody to be a better person today than you were yesterday. Well, one way to do that is to drop into Pintailta and get a gift for someone who deserves it. It'll brighten their day, their week, maybe even their year. You don't have to wait for a holiday or special occasion, so don't wait to go check out a true local gem, serving Tallahassee since 1988. Now sing along with me, and I'll see you at Pintailta.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Like most of us, your home is your greatest investment. I mean, think about it. The financial benefits, the newfound freedoms of purchasing a home can contribute to your family's health and wealth and happiness. Well, with real estate trends pointing to a favorable market for buyers, this is the time to be sure of what you're buying or selling. And that is exactly why Joel Hagens built ACL Home Inspections, providing you thorough, precise, and efficient service with same-day, easy-to-read digital reports. They'll even go with you on a walkthrough inspection of the home you want to buy. Now, if you're planning to list your house before putting it up for sale, ACL will provide you a pre-listing inspection. Call today, 850-312-8919. 312-8919. Remember, before you buy or sell, call ACL.
Government waste alert. Government waste alert. Here's what they're not telling you about the Ringling Museum transfer. Every dollar spent on doing FSU's successful 25-year management is a dollar wasted from your pocket. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yet some in Tallahassee want to risk our state art museum's future by handing it to New College, Florida's smallest and financially unstable public college. The numbers don't add up. Visit protectringling.org to see the real cost. Stop the transfer. Protect our state's museum. Stop government waste. Protectringling.org.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text KING to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text KING to 321-321. That's KING to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
I do expect, Tom, I'm really looking forward to Mike Norvell's next assessment after this scrimmage, because this is the most, I think, energized and enthused he's been in a while. We began the show talking about that, in fact, that I kind of like this version, this realist version of Mike that's been harder on the team, more honest in his assessment of the day-to-day practices, what they are, what they aren't. He's kind of taken the time to actually include the days where he's been bitterly disappointed to tell us he's been bitterly disappointed. I find all that interesting. In a sense, he's been more giving with the reality of the situation at practice on a day-to-day basis this go-around with us not out there than when we were out there, and that's interesting to me. But I do appreciate it, and I think it's partly because of the new mindset that he has, the understanding that I don't have time to waste with these guys. I got to get them to understand what we're asking them for, but more importantly, what we're demanding. And we're not going to wait around. And I appreciate that. But he was really enthusiastic the last two times that in particular this last time that he spoke, and I'm pumped about that. I think that we're going to get an interesting assessment this post scrimmage. I don't know how it's going to go, but I think he's going to be revealing with it because I think it's going to be a very real scrimmage again. And I think that he's finishing out the weeding out process for some guys, but I think he's going to end up having a better feel for who he does have, who he's ready to ride with going into this offseason.
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing here is the appreciation for the task at hand. Do you appreciate how troublesome this is? 2-10 coming out of it, emerging from it successfully. Do you understand the gravity of the moment? And while he might very well have understood the gravity of the moment without sharing it in a press conference, it's more reassuring to hear him share it.
It is.
In the press conference. And I think what you're sensing from him, and maybe the words right or wrong, you could tell me, a little bit of relief too. Because I think he was befuddled by how are these kids really not going to respond? That you just went 2-10. Your career's on the line. I'm going to cut you. How do you not care? And I think he was going through that a little bit. And he's finally starting to see that, okay, well, the baseline's been accomplished. I'm relieved because these are the guys that we needed to ride with into the fall anyway, to a large degree. So I think there's relief. And I think that also is reinvigorating for him because it means his coordinators are doing their job. It means that he's doing his job and he's got his finger on the pulse of the team in a way he didn't last year. So that gives him hope. Doesn't mean a hill of beans when it comes to the win total in the fall, but the head man now has some hope where I think he was in some serious doubt mode.
I do think it might have an impact on the win total in the fall. I know what you're saying. I know why you said it.
The talent is the talent.
Talent is the talent. Yeah. I get it. But I do think to apply it this way is also true. He is not going to wait around to do something about a problem.
Oh, sure. Yes. Yeah. For his side of it. Yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see that again. I hope that it's the lesson learned from all of this and that maybe many years from now when we reflect on a successful run at Florida State for him, we'll see if that's in the cards or not. I don't know the answer to that. I feel like the odds are against him on that front. But let's say it happens. I think he'll look back to realizing, man, I really trusted a lot of people. I trusted players too much. I trusted some of my assistant coaches too much. I trusted in a way that got me burned beyond what I ever thought possible. And it was a painful, excruciatingly painful endeavor, and it'll never happen again. And I mean, look, 2-10 should do that to you. It should be a profound thing. If you fail, if any of us fail at our jobs to the extent that he failed at his a year ago, you would be shaken to the core and you would want to get to the bottom of it and you would vow never to have it happen again. Because I do think he takes pride in his work, and I do think he cares, and I do think he's passionate, and I do think that anybody who's invested in whatever it is they do wants to be good at it. Think about the amount of time invested in being good at anything that you're trying to be good at, let alone it's your, if you have integrity, it's your career. Others are depending on you. There's an awful lot that comes with that. And if you failed profoundly in it, you would want to know how and why that happened, and you'd fix it. And you would really be vigilant looking day to day from that point forward that you don't fall back into the same trap that you emerged from that was so obviously damaging to your career. And I think we're seeing a little bit of that. Again, I hope it's in time. I hope he's able to salvage it. I hope they're able to turn it around. I hope it leads to a run of successes and that we're looking back at that as the terrible blip on the radar. I hope. I'm just not willing to say that I know.
Here's what I can tell you, at least something behind the scenes. You mentioned this last week that when Jalen Early declared for the portal, or is it Monday? It's been a long time.
I think it was Monday.
So it might have been Monday. That you had heard that it's not the most surprising thing in the world.
Correct.
I, too, have heard something along those lines about one of the other two players. Coin flip.
There it is.
Your chance. Your choice. But that part of the weeding out process was conducted not just by the coaching staff, but by teammates about standards.
Good.
Which is, again, another sign of health. It's to maximize the run at 8 or 9 wins, the quest for 8 and 4, the quest for 9 and 3. But it's nice to hear that behind the scenes, it's not only that You got coaches who understand the size of the problem and what needs to be done. But when you're starting to hear that players are calling each other out, and that might lead to some changes, that is a nice thing to hear.
Coaches always want eventually for their locker room to be governed and run by players. Now, there are standards and rules that you set in place upon arrival. The kids get there, they learn what these are. You probably share it with them even during the course of recruiting. Point would be that, they either meet those standards or they don't, but you would like to have a player-run locker room. That's the way that it's done in the pros. It's the way it should be in college. It's the way it is in high school. Your coaches obviously set up the game plan, try to put you in positions to succeed, ride you to be better, challenge you physically and mentally. They do all of these things, but they would like for certain team leaders to govern the locker room. That's a sacred place. And what perhaps was so shocking to me a year ago was how little there was of any of that. We said before, and it wasn't to try to sound tough, but I would say on the air occasionally, I don't understand how this is happening. I don't understand how there aren't fights. And I meant that because I think that I've said it many times, football is so freaking hard. It requires so much of you emotionally, physically, all of it, intellectually. It involves an awful lot of you. Certainly from a time standpoint, it does. And if you are going to in any way jeopardize what I've invested with my hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears by loafing and not committing that back to me, and I'm going to watch you do it like on a daily basis and nothing's being done about it, and then I see it in the game film, we get done with a game. Now, everybody's concentrating on their job in a game. One of the great things about a team sport like football, I always thought this, there's really never a time to get nervous. I never got nervous playing football. I got nervous playing other sports. Got nervous on the free throw line of a basketball game tied late. Got nervous in a plate appearance. It's me and the pitcher. That's all there is. Everybody's hoping that I get the hit, whatever it might be, but not in football. In football, I have a job on every play. So do you, and so do you, and so do you. The other 11, the other 10, they have a job. And this play may or may not work based on how well we all do that job in unison, right? Whatever it might be. But you hear the play. It's often a lengthy play call. It's got a lot of information in it. Only one part of that message contains something that matters to you, depending on the position you play. So I'll hear the quarterback. He'll give me a series of, usually numbers and colors and signals and things. And then afterwards, I'm processing as it's happening. Oh, that's me. Okay, this is what we're doing. And then I know everybody else has got a different thing for the most part, right? Why do I bring all that up? Well, I bring that up because I don't know whether or not you did your job unless you come back and tell me you failed or succeeded. I don't know whether or not you did your job until we look at the film. Now I can see the eye in the sky and I can see everybody's job and I can see whether or not you did do your job. And how many times must those players have witnessed guys not getting their job done? Not because they failed physically, but because they didn't try physically. That is the kind of thing that would lead to somebody's face being punched in the locker room. Maybe in the film room. That can't happen. Not repeatedly. Okay, look, what happened there? There might be a question. You might get a pass, especially if you have a decent history. I might just be like, Tommy, what was going on down on 2nd and 7, second quarter? When we were watching film today, I saw. I'm waiting for a good answer. You might have one. But if you didn't, and it kept happening, we're going to get into a fight at some point, right? I can't believe it didn't happen. I never heard of that last year. Never heard of it. Let's hope that we've come an awful long way now, that this is the kind of thing where you're talking about a player-led locker room, controlled locker room in which those standards are being demanded by your fellow teammates. Yes, that should happen. Absolutely should happen. That would be very good leadership. We know the 2013 team had that. They had that in droves.
Well, and that's what you're, at least I am, shouldn't say what you are, wondering about last week's practice when Mike Norvell was happy with the emotion and he says they got to control their emotions. You wonder, that means there's a fight. That's
good, though.
That's nothing new. You know, that could be, well, it's day 12 of looking at the same dude and facing the same dude.
Right. And he's got an annoying habit of pushing me late after the
right.
play.
And period 13. And I'm always tired of period 13 because we just got done doing 11 on 11. Whatever it is, it could be that. Or it could have been that there was a fight based on standards not being met and a teammate calling out another teammate, maybe from the same side of the football. Now, that's not a hint. I don't know whether that's the case or not. I do know that with one of the transfers, the kids that are on the way out, it was a teammate calling out another teammate and it not going so well. But in the practice setting, I wonder, maybe that's why Mike was jazzed. Maybe it wasn't just about the guys are caring enough and because the results aren't good that they're fighting the guy on the other side of the ball. Maybe they're calling each other out. And that was where some of the emotion came from.
So.
Whatever it is, there's relief in his face. He doesn't, all the muscles it takes to frown or furrow the brow versus what he looked like the last couple of days, relief. Looks like the mind is a little bit more quiet for Mike.
I like it. For those of you that don't know, I'll alert you. If you are a JCS advertiser, you receive a free ad board. That's right. It's a JCS advertiser. My friends at Tried and True Consulting will provide for you a 55-inch 4K television installed and 6 months of free ads at all the other locations across Tallahassee. That's huge. And I would just tell you, even if you're not a JCS advertiser, shame on you. Let's get with the program. All you have to do is sign up. Say, hey, I want to get involved. I want an ad board. I want something better than this chalkboard, which isn't getting it done. I want to brighten up the experience and get the exposure my business deserves with all the hard work I've put in. Maybe you need a brand new payments processing provider, saving you money, making you money. My friends at Tried and True Consulting, and man, they are involved in this golf tournament. They are also part of the Paloma station with the Calafino Tequila tomorrow. Man, Don's got tentacles. He's got all kinds of things going on out here. Give him a call today, 844-463-6653. Simple way to remember that is 844-I'm-4-NOL. 844-I'm-4-NOL. Learn about how it is they can help you save and or make money. That's a good thing. Tried and True Consulting.
Now, here's your Paul's Termite and Pest Control Tallahassee weather report.
Plenty of sunshine, dry weather, and a warming trend for the end of the week and through the weekend. Rain chances staying out of the forecast with slight chances possible early next week. Tonight, clear, low near 50. Thursday, sunny with a high of 81, low of 54. Friday, more sunshine with a high of 85. Sunny on Saturday with a high of 86. From Real Talk 93.3, this is Danielle Kelly.
For the elimination of termites, pests, and for a greener lawn too, call Paul's. They'll get them all.
What do you need tires on? Your car or truck, tractor or heavy equipment? At Nice Tire and Auto Service, we have tires for all these needs. And we service your vehicle from air conditioning and computerized alignment to oil changes and everything else under the hood. Call Nice Tire and Auto today at 574-4100. That's 574-4100 for your scheduled maintenance. National accounts welcome at Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
Hey everybody, this is Shannon Young with Cross Country Mortgage. Been in the industry now for 22 years. I just made the move over to the nation's largest retail lender, Cross Country Mortgage, here to serve you in 7 states, including Florida, Georgia, Alabama, the Carolinas, Tennessee, and the state of Texas. Here to offer better service, better rates, and if you were thinking about buying, or if you've been on the fence and been waiting to call me, now is the time. You can still find me at loansforknowles.com. That is, again, loansforknowles.com. I've helped thousands of fellow Knowles get into their dream home, and I can't wait to help you get into yours. Give me a call today. I'm at 954-369-6171, or go to loansforknowles.com. Again, that's 954-369-6171, and that's loansforknowles.com.
Equal housing NMLS 373031.
After the Sabbath at dawn on the first day of the week, Mary Magdalene and the other Mary went to look at the tomb, and there was a violent earthquake. For an angel of the Lord rolled back the stone and said unto the women, Do not be afraid, for I know that you are looking for Jesus, who was crucified. He is not here. He has risen. This Easter, may your heart be filled with the faith and wonder of that first Easter morning, now and throughout the year. A message of hope
From Wood and Glass on South Monroe, Tallahassee's first family in glass since 1945. For mirrors, shower and bath enclosures, tabletops, and window glass, call 222-5781, online at woodandglass.com. And Tony Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning, the highest industry standards, personal attention to every detail. That's Tony Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning. Call 385-3774, online at TonyKellyInc.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
11,200 kiddos. Woohoo!
Director Matthew chipping in a big way. Thank you, Director.
Goodness gracious, Director Matthew, that is awfully kind.
So many who were today. A really large number of kind folks.
It's cool. It warms me every time. Down deep in the cockles. I feel good.
So even if it's 54 degrees with a slight breeze in the morning tomorrow on the first tee of our shotgun start, it'll be warmed to 57 degrees because of what today is.
The donations surpassing $11,000. It is something to behold. And I take it, sir, that you just gave me the actual forecast for
That's
tomorrow
pretty
morning?
much right. Yeah. It's going to warm up quicker tomorrow than it did today. But it's still, by the time we're done, it's going to be in the mid-70s.
Buddy, I teed off this morning at 7:38. 7:28. 7:28. And it was perfect. We're golfing tomorrow at 8. It is going to be a damn near perfect day.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. Me too. Who doesn't want to go out and play golf for charity? And then, from there, I mean, there might be a chance at some beverages.
Yeah.
There may be.
There's 100% chance of beverages at this tournament. My God, it's all there.
It is all there. And I want to thank all of those fine folks.
Coors Lights, Miller Lights, Modelo's on the course as your baseline. Tavello is going to be holding it down on 18.
Yep.
Palomas and Terry's Twisters and Shots, oh my. And half sandwiches.
Does it say Shots, oh my?
Well, so I got a note from the Second Harvest today because last year was Fireball. It was just straight, to move up on number 9. You get a free, you pay for the shot and then you get to move up to the red tees.
I enjoyed the Fireball shot, last year.
I think that's going to be the predominant one, but what did the terminology, what did Libby say? It's choose your friend. You pick your friend. Yeah, that kind of a thing.
Oh, you pick your friend. Okay.
Yeah, of whatever the shot is going.
Yeah. I like it.
Mystery shot.
A mystery shot?
Yeah,
I don't know that I want a mystery shot. I'd
you
like
could
to
request
know
the known
shot
commodity
shot.
shot.
I'd like to know what's in that
Names
shot.
on the tournament. I'm sure they could swing a Fireball shot for you. There were actually 2 because last year there was the push-up contest with the Fireball. So there was.
Yeah, that's right.
And on number 10 this year, I got to text Sarah Comas if you're listening. They're on number 10 this year, so that's where Gordo's will be.
Gordo's will be on number 10.
That is the easiest setup in the world because that's right when you drive in. It's right there.
It is right there, and I want to thank my friends at Gordo's, just as I've thanked all the other sponsors and the others contributing. This will be a great day indeed.
There will be messaging about all of the sponsors in the weeks to come as well, but top-level sponsors in no particular order: the Battle's End, Comcast, Terry's Pool Service, Tried and True Consulting, Shannon Young, Corner Pocket Bar and Grill, always, and Cone Brewing providing the beers.
Rolling Big River, buddy.
Proctor Acura for the hole-in-one car. It's a $40,000+ vehicle this year.
Yeah. My friends at Proctor aren't fooling around. Love them. Proctor Acura, Proctor Subaru, love all the Proctors. The Proctors are the real deal.
T-Spark setting up a cooler for us. Tavello giving us tasters as well. It's a full awesome day.
I'll be able to give Maurice a hug and enjoy the deliciousness that is Tavello.
Apparently he could bomb it, and that's one of the games. He'll be up at the forward tees, and you can tee off with him to make 18 a very short par 5 as well.
That's nice.
So 9 and 18 are going to be very, very reachable. They already are reachable for the likes of you and me, but they're going to be extremely reachable tomorrow.
And on that note, let's do a little bit of probables, good sir. Cue that sucker up.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Braves trail in the 9th inning, 3-1. That's not good if they don't come back, because that will drop them to 5-13. And I got to tell you, we both know they'll rebound and have a good season. But last year, to get in as a wild card, the number was 89. You keep dropping these games. And by the way, everybody out west is winning.
They don't stop winning.
No. And, the Padres just lost their first home game of the year.
Jeez.
2-1 in extras.
I felt fairly good about the Rockies 55.5. I mean, no.
They're 3-14.
And they're going to play teams that just keep winning.
Yes.
60 games against them.
Yeah, it's a toughie. Anyhow, if the Braves fall to 5-13, Spencer Strider was on the hill today, pitched well. Chris Bassett pitched better. If that happens, man, you got to get to 91, 92 wins this year. Mets Twins are in the 9th. That game is tied at 3.
That's good because it was 3-0 last I looked, going the wrong way.
Who the hell is Brazoban?
Huascar
Brazoban.
He was a setup man for the Marlins last year. We traded for at the deadline. We had an injury. Griffin Cannon got hurt. So
cheating on golf, no doubt.
Yes.
Huascar Brazoban. Brazoban. David Festa. Twins the other night had 7,000 people at the game.
It is miserably cold there.
It's also just a sorry team. Cubs, Padres, Matthew Boyd, Nick Pivetta, Guardians, Orioles, Gavin Williams, Dean Creamer. I love that the press is grilling the Orioles GM yesterday. They asked why they don't have any players on multi-year deals and if they're ever going to invest in this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. They're 6-10. They're getting a little feisty. Nats, Pirates. Buccos shut out last night, 3-0 by the lowly Nationals. Mitchell Parker, Bailey Falter. D-backs, Marlins, Brandon Fett, Max Meyer. Mariners, Reds, Bryce Miller, Nick Martinez. Giants, Phillies. Won a little money last night on the Giants. The Phillies, to beat the Giants. And they did. Said it on the air because Justin Verlander sucks. He's going to be DFA'd before this year is over.
Or he just pitches at home only in that giant ballpark.
He stinks. He didn't last long again yesterday. Robbie Ray.
Hey. Got to remember, he's back.
Aaron Nola goes for the Phillies. Red Sox, Rays, Sean Newcomb, Zach Lytle. Royals, Yankees, Chris Bubik. Clark Schmidt. Athletics, White Sox, Osvaldo Bido. Jonathan Cannon. Angels, Rangers, that's Jose Soriano and Patrick Corbin. Rockies, Dodgers, German Marquez, Bobby Miller. Tigers, Brewers, Keter Montero and Jose Quintana. Man, Quintana, that creep can roll, man. By the way, 2-0 with a 0-7.
Okay. We could have had him for $50.
He's pitching well. Astros, Cardinals, Ronel Blanco, Steven Matz. Steven Matz still in the league.
Always wants to cry.
Does he?
It's just the face he has.
The look on his face?
Yeah, it's not good.
I feel like Steven Matz has been around forever.
They cut to him in the 3rd inning.
Just
looking at the crowd.
Come on, Steven.
Why am I here?
No, your Mets in the 9th inning tied 3-3. You got to beat the Twins, buddy.
I know. That's a rubber game. We need the rubber.
You're 11-6, having a good year. Much better than my Pirates, who are 6-12. Struggling. That is a look at those that shall reside on the bump.
Our ass is in the jackpot now.
That's what they would do. That's what they would do on the stage.
I know.
Scatting away.
This is fun. Makes me think of my friends at Cornbread Hemp. Life's been a little crazy lately, and one thing that helps me unwind is Cornbread CBD. If you're looking for a natural way to relieve aches and discomfort, CBD gummies will do it for you, formulated to work with your body, not against it. They only use the best part of the hemp plant, the flower, for the purest and most potent CBD. Right now, Jeff Cameron Show listeners can save 30% on their first order. Head to cornbreadhemp.com/warchant. Use code WARCHANT at checkout. That's cornbreadhemp.com/warchant and use code WARCHANT for some tasty CBD. I feel like I should read another ad.
I think maybe all live reads should come with this big band music. What you got? Got something from like 3 years ago?
Games for Less, Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used games, as well as new and used consoles like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Atari 2600, the PS5, and the PS4. They've been here since 1994. Go see my man George. Games for Less. That was fun.
That was good.
They should all have that. Yeah, you're right. From here on out, let's just find another song like that. We'll do all live reads that way.
Oh, I can find some big band for free.
Yeah.
You know?
Big band, I'm all
Unfortunately, that they should have royalties, but they don't.
They're all dead. All those players are dead. Good work, everybody. What did we finish with? 11,200. Great job, everybody. Very, 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 very happy. Really appreciate
If you're
you
on the
very
pod,
much.
it's still live and available.
Yeah, do it. Do it. But we close at 11,200. Good work. Good work, Tom. Off tomorrow for the golf tournament. We'll be back with you on Friday to share the joy. Peace.